show no mercy. Only give my time if it's worthy, cause I keep my mind on a mission. And you don't fit the vision. I ain't cocky, okay a little bit. I call it confident, but they can handle it. Don't blame me, it's just my time. So move, cause you're blocking my shine. I'm out of your league. You better go with plan B. You taking the crown, that's a fantasy. You can't step to me. I'm out of your league. Better beef up that defense. I give you an A for effort. Now hit the bench. You go hard, I go harder. You beat, I beat harder. You cannot match my speed. Cause I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. Everybody wanna get like me. Better reach for the stars, cause I'm out of your league. You go hard, I go harder. You beat, I beat harder. You cannot match my speed. Cause I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. Everybody wanna get like me. Better reach for the stars, cause I'm out of your league.
Put it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, we want it up, put it on.
your gear, I ain't got no room on stage for no amateur pop stars. Me and my clique don't fear, trashing hotels like some animal rock stars. You opened up with a bang up job, but it's time for a real deal headline. Line so big that I can't find the end, I'm gonna kill this airtime. Don't get too comfy, you make the scene now, they gon' love me. I got the keys now, get your own seat. You must be senile if you think you tag along. I'm sorry my friend, you pegged me wrong. You must be lost now, your time is gone. If you think I give you the blueprint, you better be stupid or else you're deadly wrong. So long I've waited to take the night. Got no more patience, I think it's time. The man of the year, so you're right. I waited all my life and now it's showtime.
You already know what time it is, right? It's your boy Eclipse Darkness. I do this for my people. How I like that. I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turned a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. I done seen it all. Came up from the gutter, baby, now I'm here to ball. I've been talking in my ear, so now they wanna call. They got my line tap, oh yeah, they tryna take it off. Oh no, here we go again. Pull me over, let me guess, it's cause my melanin. Asking questions, me and you both know irrelevant. But I stay cool and collected cause I'm heaven sent. They hate it, I love it, they know that there's no one above it except for God. Steady be coming with negative energy, I gotta move and die. Give me that back, can't touch my crown, I'm a king and yeah, you know that. Talk about giving it back, I'ma come and take that, yeah, I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turned a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. Yeah, they know I be about it. I don't do a lot of talking, come and see about it. They gon' try to keep it from you so you don't know about it. I'm a young pharaoh, pick it up and read about it. Here's your opportunity. Telling stories, yeah, to make sure they remember me. Can't hold me down, cause I leave behind a legacy. And don't believe them when they say they who they claim to be. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turned a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down.
Few will rise and many shall fall, but a real conqueror will stand tall amongst them all. Hey, boom! Put your lighters up, represent it where you're from. If you're a child of Zion, marching forward till thy kingdom come. To all the old and the youngster, if nobody can put you under, stand up then if he's a fighter, show them you're ready if you conquer. Make them know that you're a conqueror. Stand up and if he's a fighter,
I won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion, we put in this time. Look.
You won't stop my stride. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. You take us down, keep fighting.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Bang Bang Season 1 Open Finals. This is day number 4. You're with us again. My name is Husky alongside ICBaby12. And today is going to be a more stressful day. It's elimination bracket time.
Yeah, this is where things get a little bit more spicy as well, where they have to fight for their potential tournament lives. But in this case, I would be lying if that's the case, because they are going to be fighting off towards the Challenge Finals. That is going to be a very, very interesting one as well. So now the question remains is, are they fighting for the prize pool, or are they fighting to save their strategy? So that's going to be a completely different story. You got to stick around to find out who you guys are going to be supporting, because we have players and teams from across multiple regions who've made it so far to come in and compete to be called the best of Southeast Asia for the Snapdragon Pro Series. However, in case you're just tuning in, this is going to be the format in case you're wondering how everything has been going on so far.
And we start with the open qualifiers. We have 2 open qualifiers, and each open qualifiers consists of 4 regional qualifiers. Teams that win first place in the regional qualifiers automatically get a slot to the challenge group stage, whereas the teams that finish 2nd and 3rd will qualify to the Open Finals, which is the stage that we're at right now. Now, all these 16 teams will be seeded into a double elimination format, where the top 8 teams will qualify to the Challenge Group stage, which we've already concluded that by the end of our first day of broadcast. Now, afterwards, when we go to the challenge stage, they will be reseeded again, 16 teams in a double elimination format, where the top 4 teams will qualify to the challenge finals, and then it is at that stage that we will find out which is the best Mobile Legends Bang Bang team.
Exactly, so there's a lot of opportunities for all the players to shine and bloom themselves and potentially train to get better for the actual pro leagues. But as of yet, I'm looking forward to see whether or not are they going to be bringing in something new to the table. But here's a little bit of fun fact for you. For this past few days, we have seen a lot of interesting strategy kind of differ away from the M World Series. But let's take a look at the prize pool up on screen. As you can see, this is going to be the prize pool. They are going to be fighting for the open section, where the first place is going to be walking away with $2,000, second place $1,600, third place $1,400, fourth place $1,200, fifth to sixth $900, and seventh to eighth place getting themselves $500 US. That's a lot of money on the line, a lot of pride, but most importantly, who doesn't like a good chump change?
Yeah, the more money you get, the happier you are as a man. And for you guys who are, wondering, what are the teams fighting for at this stage of the competition, it is just purely for the prize pool. But if we head into the challenge season, which is going to be happening in the near future, this is what the teams will be fighting for. $20,000 US for the champions, all the way down to $1,250 if they finish 7th and 8th.
Now, this is what we're talking about. The reason why I say chump change is not really chump change. It's a little bit of an incentive motivation to keep them going, train harder, and potentially fight for this big grand prize. The 20K is the end game here, and we are going to be here to tell you guys the entire story and journeys of how all these teams grow individually, pre-meta, off-meta, on-meta itself, to see whether or not have they developed a certain set of skills. And so far, the Indonesian region as well as the Philippine region has been extremely dominating in yesterday's, the past few days of games so far. But now, this is going to be the brackets thus far, in case you're wondering.
And for the upper bracket, we concluded that yesterday for the upper bracket semis, GameLab, they got a 2-0 over Evo Esports, and PB and Strike got a miraculous comeback in Game 1 and an absolute stomp in Game 2 over Sway Esports. And afterwards, today we will be looking at the lower bracket, Error 404 against Tiger Wong Esports, and ALVA ALVA 8 against Miracle Gaming, both elimination series, and of course the winners of their respective series will go up against either EVO Esports or Sway Esports.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very difficult spot to be in, especially when they've just barely qualified into the main event. But today's match, this is where things get a little bit spicy, right? Let's talk about Miracle Gaming a little bit here as well. Miracle Gaming, their debut on screen itself against EVO Gaming, right? It was a little bit of a mixed reaction because they were able to confidently take a game against EVO, but somehow kind of drop the ball in game number 2 and kind of lose their momentum a little bit on game number 3. So I feel like this is a team that I really want to support and look out for, considering how they actually gave EVO Gaming with Xandri as one of the core players in the international scene for MLBB. With that much experience, with that much play, they were able to give them a run for their money, but I don't really want to see them fall out this early. But fortunately for them, they did manage to qualify to the main event. But as of yet, do they want to fight for that actual big prize pool? That's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me as well. And I think that if Miracle Gaming can survive the first one of the elimination series today, then we might see a potential rematch against EVO Esports down the road in the lower bracket. But for now, let us take a look at ALVA 8 Gaming's roster. This is the team that will be fighting in our first best of 3. We will start with Jirachi, Zayan, Eliora, Aaron Shiki, and Vince Smoke as the 5-man roster.
Well, this is going to be a very, very interesting one because this is going to be a roster all the way from Indonesia, and seeing Vince Smoke's name kind of reminds me of a very, very, very strong player who's been traveling across regions to actually participate in multiple MPL events. So I'm assuming this is the same dude is going to be playing up on screen, and this is where things get a little bit interesting because they do have the experience, and we know how competitive the Indonesia region is when it comes to Mobile Legends. So I hope MYSG has what it takes to stand up against them this time.
Yeah, well, so far internationally, we don't have a positive record over the second best region, but hey, in Snapdragon Pro Series, if there's one thing we learned is that there's diversity and there's unique play style. Again, Miracle Gaming, if you guys haven't known who they are yet, it's Prime Hashi, Zukarian, Shiro, Soul, Satoru, and Miracle Gaming MY himself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how Prime Hashi is going to be playing on XP lane here, because Miracle Gaming, they really stood out for me. It was that the match against EVO Gaming was the fact that they relied solely on the XP lane to kind of snowball the game all the way through. He brought in the Derov, which is very, very strong in initial stages. However, when EVO Gaming kind of adapted and shifted the focus to punishing him, things didn't exactly go according to the plan of Miracle Gaming, which is something I'm a little bit worried about. Hopefully, they have reworked their strategy and rethink their strategies to actually compete to this. However, let's give you guys a little bit more stats to talk about between both the teams as well as the players. This is going to be the 2 mid laners from each team. We have Eloria as well as Shiro.
Yeah, and again, clearly see just from the numbers alone, Shiro does have higher numbers overall compared to Eliora, but we have seen examples of mid laner not necessarily being the biggest damage dealers, and I'm interested to see what is Eliora's role in this team, because Shiro has shown us in the game, in the series against EVO Esports, this is a guy that plays mages and he focuses a lot on those damage. He is the prime output for the team aside from Soul Satoru. Maybe Eliora has a different approach. Maybe we would see some sort of a archetype like the Ube that we've seen for the past 2 days.
Yeah, it feels like based on this stats alone itself as well, Shiro is pretty much the late game carry kind of strategy where he has a little bit higher in terms of DPM, DTPM. But it feels like Eliora is played in a role where he's more on the supportive mage role rather than the aggressive one where you go for an engagement. But that can be very, very different as well, because heroes such as Kadita, which huge amount of burst damage, doesn't necessarily transcend and translate into the current stats up on screen, right? Arguably, a Kadita by the end of the game can have like 30,000, but he's got like 10 kills, which we did kind of see in yesterday's games as well. So it doesn't really necessarily make sense to actually gauge him off that, but I'm looking forward to see what kind of strategy they're bringing to the table. I like how you brought up about the supportive role in that regards. But what about you guys at home? What do you guys think about this match? Let us know what you guys think about this 2-match amazing one. So cast your votes in the Twitch chat and let us know who do you think is going to be the victors of this series itself.
Yeah, and remember, this is very important for both teams. They have both qualified for the Challenge Group stage. It's all for the prize pool, and obviously, you don't want to be the team that goes out by the end of the night. It's the last 2 hours-ish for one of these squads. I hope for a 3 game. Speaking of 3 games, I want to look at our predictions. This time, I'm sticking with my boys from Miracle Gaming, and hopefully I do not continue my 0-4 record in terms of predictions.
This is, well, that's a, come on, man. Like, I want to support MYSG, but it feels like Indonesia is a force to be reckoned with, you know?
Yeah,
like, just
I
based
agree.
on yesterday's game itself, right? Oh no, I thought Indonesia's gonna lose. Guess what? Surprise! Epic comeback. Boom! 2-0.
It's one of those series where you cannot sleep peacefully over because it's just how it happened, right? We saw one of the most miraculous and also most tragic comebacks of in a best of 3, and that was PBN Strike pulling it off. But nonetheless, you know, PBN Strike, we will see them next week. They are chilling in the upper bracket right now. Most importantly is to see whether ALVA 8 or Miracle Gaming can survive for another day.
Whew. We've seen a lot of interesting strategies so far. We've seen Alice jungle, we've seen an occasional Fredrin jungle. So far, even though I'm a big fan of Martis, you guys know it as well. I always talk about the Martis jungle. However, does have a 0% win rate on screen. Okay,
Yeah.
not off screen.
Out of
on
2
screen.
games, right? It's a
Out
very
of all the 2 games that we've casted so far, hopefully we'll be able to deliver the remaining full matches, giving us a little bit more depth on how the entire draft will be going on by all the teams as players. Because this gets a little bit different, right? If you're talking about regional standards of playstyle, everybody will have very similar hero pools and draft, but when it comes to region itself, it's completely different, right? We do see like Kaja priorities, we see Ube strategy priorities, we do see like Faramis priorities as well. There's a lot of integration coming in from every single region, but personally, I really like Miracle Gaming for a fact that they do bring in the Deraf, which is something that not many teams play. The armor shredding composition was very popular in the Malaysian region as well, where they actually bring in the Iritel to pair it up with the Deraf, which arguably just completely destroys any player or any tank in general, considering that in the current meta, penetration is the item build to actually pair it off.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Derov, right? Because it is one of the signature picks from Miracle Gaming, and at the same time, it is kind of a testament on how they want to approach those early games, right? You pick a lane-winning, a very oppressive XP laner, you get him ahead, and the game just gets exponentially easier. That's what Miracle Gaming did against EVO Esports. They lost the series, but they gave us a glimpse of how they want to approach the game. Now, the question would be, how is ALVA 8 going to answer this? EVO Esports answered in a way which is very, very smart. They started shutting down Prime Hashi. They started playing a more teamfight oriented draft and make sure that Miracle Gaming doesn't get the snowball rolling. Maybe ALVA 8 will go in that direction. We're in the drafting phase for game number 1, and I'm just also very happy that we are getting kind of a tournament meta. Every single team have their own playstyle, and it's just a breath of fresh air.
This is curiosity all over again, right? When I'm talking about how ALVA 8 is going to be playing, this is going to be our first time seeing them on screen. They will be the first to react. There's going to be so many things that they can actually bring up to the table. And one of the things that so far has kind of stuck in my mind is the Joy pickup. Personally, I'm terrible at the hero. Doesn't seem to be able to find a real opportunity to actually punish people, but we've seen multiple times that XP Joy is in a position where it can actually cut the backlines and just be an extreme nuisance all the way through. We haven't seen any direct counters to it besides Kufra, but once Joyce gets let out towards the XP lane, things get a little bit difficult because there's not many heroes that has a very, very strong hard lockdown to actually burst down the Joy. And even if you try to make an attempt, Joy can just easily zip out of it. And well, enough said. I'm gonna start talking about Joy because Joy is pretty much out of the equation right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much heroes that can catch up to her anyways. But we have the trend that we saw that's kind of started yesterday was Fanny into Kaja, right? Both these heroes have been priority in yesterday's series, and right now ALVA 8 doing the same thing. If memory serves, PBN Strike also goes down this direction, but now they throw in the Faramis, which is a hero that Miracle Gaming hasn't really shown too much, but it's just for safety measures. You lock out that potential Ube. Miracle Gaming now, if they ever consider Ube, I think this is definitely not that game. Though, from what we have seen, it is not what they normally want to go for.
Yeah, it's something they're not really comfortable at. But at the same time, Glue is also in the equation as well. Considering that ALVA 8 has pretty much banned Faramis, it makes a lot of sense that ALVA 8 may consider drafting around playing first pick Glue. There is a very big possibility. We've seen it happen in a couple of drafts, but things can get a little bit different as well. There are teams that prioritize on the Eve, there are teams that prioritize on the Kadita to some degree. Okay, never mind. You know, I'm just too good at my homework, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just too good at my homework. Miracle Gaming, they ban off Glue. No answers there. Carry up in the equation. Do they pick it off? Or will we see old school Leslie, which is kind of weird, you know? revamped multiple times. People ignore, but yep, they will play something safe. It is going to be the 1-1 instead. Okay.
Yeah, Carry hasn't been a prime first pick, right? And there was one game yesterday where Carry was completely ignored throughout the ban phase. And
no, not just one game, many games
and
apparently.
Still didn't get picked up. Right? It's very, very interesting. Miracle Gaming has the Edith. This is a hero, I believe, that they did pull out as in a roaming role. That was Lucario on that Edith. So I'm very, very interested to see how this is gonna play out, especially when we are dealing with a 1-1 who arguably just doesn't care about that Edith in any situation, any stage of the game. But we see the Hayabusa.
Well, I guess this is something that Miracle Gaming kind of likes as well. It's not oftentimes we do see a lot of teams play Edith. So far, we've seen 2 different teams kind of prioritize it. Miracle Gaming actually brought in the Edith to pair it off with a lot of AoE control. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they actually brought in Fredrin. They also brought in a Claude with all kind of CC control. It just completely wiped the floor. So I think Miracle Gaming, if they want to drop around that, they needed the Fredrin. But considering that now it's banned off, maybe they should win off it a little bit more. And as soon as I say this, Miracle Gaming, they have a little bit of split push, they have a little bit of engagement, but ALVA 8, these are 2 very, very annoying heroes that don't really want to take a team fights, and it's so hard to catch. Benedetta as well as 1-1 completely disrupts that wombo combo, and with the Archive on top of it, I don't think they can stick the wombo combo strategy from Miracle Gaming. If they go for the Atlas, they're just gonna get completely dumpster with this composition.
I was thinking of the Archive as well, right? Because Miracle Gaming shut themselves out from a potential Archive pick. So ALVA 8, I think these 3 opening picks, they not only don't care about the Edith, but they're so hard to catch. You have 2 heroes, both 1-1 and Benedetta, who have a way to dispel crowd control.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, Edith is going to have a hard time just off on paper. Miracle Gaming, though, has this jungler in the terms of Hayabusa, which does provide a lot of agency from early to late. Now, the bigger question is, who do you kind of pair up with the team, right? I mean, Valentina is not a bad choice, though there's no ultimates that benefits this Valentina.
I think Valentina here is always a good safe pick, considering that the Terror just gives a little bit more damage. Even though back in the days, with ultimates, without ultimates, Valentina is just so mobile. It just does a lot of damage in general. But in this scenario, I feel like regardless of whatever ultimate that the Valentina steals, even the Electro Final Blow isn't too bad. But in this case, I feel like the Heavy Spin would be the biggest steal coming from Shiro itself on the Valentina, because it just brings so much value. Like a Benedetta can't exactly zip out it. Probably a 1-1, but even then it's going to be very difficult. Banning off important mages is going to help out against ALVA 8 in terms of limiting their drafts. But I feel like the Julian was a little bit uncalled for, to be honest. But at the same time, knowing that they have this mobile composition, it makes sense for Miracle Gaming to actually ban it off, considering that if they go for a Julian as well, you know, do you realize how difficult it is to even engage against ALVA 8 as an Edith as of yet, based on this draft?
Yeah, I think it's, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's borderline impossible, right? There's just very less window based on what ALVA 8 has. Obviously, for Miracle Gaming side, they already have that Edith who is going to be the roamer, but if you just want to rely on one Edith, it gets very complicated. And honestly, I think this opening also locks Miracle Gaming out of a lot of options that can start fight. There's not much XP laner that can do the same, especially without Fredrin. You know, Dyrov is there to win lane, but if ALVA has a Benedetta, then you don't really care too much about that early phase. They do ban the Kufra, which is a way to keep Valentina and Hayabusa safe, but it doesn't solve the problem of how are we going to start fight.
I think a Lolita ban isn't too bad as well, coming from ALVA 8. If Miracle Gaming decides to go for it, you can still flex the Edith into an XP lane. It's not necessarily the greatest against a Benedetta, considering that this Benedetta is going to be looking for an aggressive lane cut to a certain degree. So I think Uranus from side Miracle Gaming isn't too bad. Going for a Thamos isn't too bad as well. Going for a Yujong again isn't too bad. But at the same time, the biggest threat right now is that how do they pick off the 1-1? In this case, the Phoveus ban coming for ALVA 8 seems to be a safer bet right now.
There's a very, very safe ban for ALVA 8.
Very good.
Not taking any chances at all.
Yeah.
Though I highly doubt they would, Phoveus would get picked anyways, but you know, you just want to cover your bases. Miracle Gaming has shown, again, Dirov is kind of the primary pick for Prime Hashi. Maybe Lapu Lapu would be kind of a decent answer, but they go for the Franco. So this is a hero that now with Franco picked up, we are seeing that Edith XP like you mentioned just now. But Alpha 8 now, I think they're really happy with this choice, right? You not
no.
only give Benedetta a good lane, and now you have that Eve, you have the Lolita. Miracle Gaming hasn't really answered the question of how do you fight Alpha 8. I think
okay. See, this is so smart coming from Alpha 8, right? Like every single hero they've picked has been with intent. I don't have anything in lock for 1-1. What's a better way than just suppressing with the Bloody Hunt? Great. But guess what? I'm going to pick a Lolita. That Bulwark can block hooks. So it's either you get a really, really sick hook angle, or there's nearly almost impossible moments for a Franco to actually catch a 1-1, as well as a Benedetta, which arguably are one of the hardest heroes already to engage on. So I feel like in this kind of scenario, Miracle Gaming is forced to fight battles where they need to be right in your face, rather to try and displace or isolate players towards a team fight in their favor. So this is going to be a very difficult situation for for Miracle Gaming to engage. But if they do keep up the aggression in the early stage game, things might be a little bit different, because Alpha 8 does have a composition that scales in the later stage of the game, not necessarily the early ones.
it's also a very reactive draft, right? Maybe the Brody kind of will be your saving grace if the game goes late enough, but then again, you have a Lolita as an answer from Alpha 8. It's kind of like
difficult.
Alpha 8 on the offense, and Miracle Gaming are trying to block as much as possible. Though, my personal critique is that Edith opening locked them out of certain options, but maybe Miracle Gaming can prove us wrong. They have done it before. This game 1 would be a very, very good statement of where Miracle Gaming stands and whether Alpha 8 is just a cut above.
Yep, I want to see how things goes as well. The drop's pretty much set as well. Be sure to tune in and let your friends know. Let us know who you guys are supporting in the comment section, and what do you guys think about the entire game as well. I hope you guys enjoy the show, but for now, we are going to be heading into the land of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lower brackets round number 3, match number 2. This is ALVA 8 going up against Miracle Gaming, a best of 3 series. Loser will be eliminated from this series. However, it's not the end of their journey. But now, in towards the game, this is going to be some stats for you guys. The mid lane matchup is going to be the Eve going up against the Valentina.
Yeah, very, very classic matchup, right? Valentina sees an Eve, very happy, good ultimate to steal. But this laning stage is just going to be those where you shove the wave, you try to help out that roamer. It's not going to be too much of an action. Miracle Gaming obviously would be the one who is going to start things off with this Franco, but Shiro already getting pressured a lot. That's half of his health pool depleted by this early roam. And Miracle Gaming, they want to protect this jungle. They want to keep this Hayabusa going. But with this deficit, it's not going to be that easy though. Zukarin is just going to check a bit, go back to that purple.
This is interesting considering that the hook starts in. That's going to be a little bit of a bummer coming from Zion, as Zukarin does have a little bit of disadvantage. They are going to be going for the retreat battle. Zion, does he steal it? Yes, he does, but will he pay for his life? Because as of yet, they need to find a way to kill him. Does he get the kill? Yes, he does, but he doesn't have the purple buff, because right now, he will be able to survive this, but at the same time, it is going to be a trade-off. Miracle Gaming gets a 3 kill for this aggressive greed coming from Zion.
I just want to say, this is the best opening that you don't expect from Miracle Gaming. Hayabusa gets a kill, Shiro gets a kill, Prime Hashi solo kills Jirachi in the top lane. The Petrify was used, but unfortunately that dive just didn't work out in the end. Miracle Gaming has a good start right now.
This feels like a fuse bad moment coming from him, but at the same time, considering that now Hayabusa doesn't have the purple buff, he cannot rotate as quickly as he can, but considering that it's still early stage game, pre-turtle, you still have the second set of purple buff. I don't think this idea coming from L8 is going to be working out in their favor. The idea is to slow down the aggression, but hopefully it's going to work out, because now Zion going to be making work with the turtle right now. He's got the purple buff in his advantage. The rotations is on point. Zukarin not in position to actually contest it. So this is going to be a free turtle for ALVA 8, as I think they are looking for that macro play. However, the hook comes in. Mistakes with the Electro final blow from Jirachi will cost his life. Great decision made coming from Miracle to actually punish him off.
What a timing for Miracle Gaming MY. Love to see that. Zion forced to use the heavy spin and the remote manipulation. And Loria, though, your standout in the open instantly gets cancelled. Miracle Gaming 4-0 start.
Yeah, what a catch coming in from him. Who would have thought that was even possible? But it seems like ALVA 8 might be thinking a little bit too much. However, economy-wise, despite 4 losses, they're barely losing out a lot. It seems like the intent here is just to try and make space for this 1-1, and because of this, he's got a free lane so far until level 5 against this Brody, slightly ahead as well. Zion, however, gonna be forced to be in an awkward situation. Valentina does have this heavy spin from Miracle Gaming, so they don't need to necessarily risk their play again. But no, here comes the Petrify Electro final roll, but no follow-ups coming from ALVA 8 at all. Seems like they just want to keep their lanes cleared out so that they can have a little bit of nimble rotations on the bottom side instead.
This is also where we see a bit of that minor weakness from an Edith, just bulky and slow. Jirachi cuts the way between the tier 1 and tier 2, makes a rotation, petrifies, pressures that mid lane. Now it's another solo fight up top, but the result is going to be a bit different though. Prime Hashi will not get that solo kill that he's looking for. Zion shows up with a heavy spin, forcing Prime Hashi to even go for the flicker. And that's the entire top lane controlled. Bottom lane, you get that bloody hunt onto Vin Smoke. Good execution and good catch. Aaron Shiki, unfortunately, in enemy territory, does get the ultimate activation, but he's under the tier 1 and there's no way out.
This is huge for Miracle Gaming, considering that they needed to dominate early stage of the game, but now they've gotten every single fight all the way through. But I want to say that ALVA 8, a little bit unfortunate in the timing here, especially for Zion on the top side. He could have gotten a heavy spin a little bit earlier to punish Prime Hashi, but fortunately for Prime Hashi is that the minions was there to soak the tower aggro, allowing him to get out to safety. So nicely done coming from Miracle Gaming, but now it all comes down to pressure. Turtle will be conceded potentially, but the steal from Zukarian is gonna deny them any possibility. And finally, Miracle Gaming, they will take the first lead in terms of economy. That's gonna be a 3k lead, and they will continue their aggression. ALVA 8 needs to find a way to stop the bleeding. They're losing a little bit too much. The hook almost connecting, but it's not gonna be enough. So it's a close call indeed for ALVA 8.
Like a shadow, in and out fast fingers. Hayabusa players are a special breed. And Zukarian able to salvage that early loss of the purple buff. And you see ALVA 8 now sticking together, 4-man squad down bot. Jirachi shows up, he still has the Petrified. Not really sure if you want to fight this though. Electro Final Blow forced to be used just to escape. Zion just showing up late to the party. Vinsmoke is in that brush in case they need a backup. Hook goes wide. Miracle Gaming have to concede that jungle control unless Zukarian comes in. Zion is going to use that heavy spin, unable to pin Shiro to the wall. Zukarian will show up with the shadows, but unfortunately doesn't find a way in.
Oh, he did not expect Shiro to have Purify, and that's the beauty about Purify, right? Super underrated with the right circumstances, just gets out of safety. The heavy spin, a little bit rendered useless right now against Miracle Gaming, so nice call on the Purify call. But as of yet, ALVA 8, they're really struggling to actually lose up lane. And surprise, surprise, this Edith is just completely dumpstering the Benedetta lane.
And got the tier 1, right? You would not expect an Edith into Benedetta to have that Edith take your tier 1 top. It is... it goes against whatever on paper theory we had. 6-0 for Miracle Gaming thus far.
Yeah, this is something really unexpected as well, but now they're going to make an attempt on Satoru. He's going to flicker away, but a heavy spin stolen from Shiro is going to force the 1-1 in the awkward position, but he gets the Wave Dragon before dying it off. Now, down to his last health, he will eventually bow out, but he gets himself a little bit of consolation as well. But no, the hook coming from the Franco, and the timing with the Conceal is going to keep him alive, but the rest of ALVA 8, they're throwing bodies for this, but eventually they get picked off apart. X-Ivan is still there to fight this, but he is only a tank Akai, and eventually they all get wiped out bit by Miracle Gaming. This overextension has been punished heavily by Miracle Gaming once again.
Yeah, what a team fight. I mean, well, Miracle Gaming MY, this man himself, 2 times in a row, Jirachi could not do anything. Tried to went for a kill, I believe even used the Petrify, but got hooked. In the Pixels notice, end up going down underneath the tier 2. Now Miracle Gaming looking for the second turtle of the game. No contest at all, no retribution needed. A very commanding lead for a draft that seems like it's a reactive response, but looking very good. Now another quick one to Vinsmoke, no Bloody Hunt used.
Yeah, Miracle Gaming now in a very, very peculiar situation where they need to keep up with this momentum. They know for a fact that they cannot afford to drag this out into this later stage of game. All this aggression is not uncalled for. Like it doesn't really work in normal circumstances, but based on what the win condition for their current draft is, they really need to continue snowballing, and they're doing a fantastic job so far, but it's all up to ALVA Gaming right now. Can they stop the bleeding? Because their entire core revolves around this 1-1 getting this 4-item power spike. Benedetta getting that 3-item power spike before he comes on. Like even the Eve as well, where you need an Enchanted Talisman as well as an Ice Queen 1. And oftentimes, people skip the Enchanted Talisman just to have a little bit more of a AoE substance to actually kind of slow down the bleeding. But in this case, they can't really pair it up with the Archive so far. So it's not really working out in their favor, but they gotta do what they gotta do, man.
I mean, everything has gone wrong so far for ALVA 8. All three major lanes lost their matchup. Benedetta supposed to oppress Edith, got solo kill on the tower. Middle lane got ganked as well, and Turtle got getting stolen. But the good news is that when late game comes by, ALVA 8 does have the advantage. But props to Miracle Gaming. So far, they are winning that macro game. Just earlier rotations, earlier responses to be able to out-skirmish ALVA 8. This 11-2 lead in the bigger scheme of things will not matter as much. They only have a 3,000 gold advantage over ALVA 8 after all of that.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a very difficult climb as well, considering how aggressive and quick in terms of rotation is coming from Miracle Gaming. This is a big win for them for now, and they can't afford to drop the ball. They are having the momentum lead as well, and with this pause coming in, hopefully they resolve the issues coming from ALVA Gaming, but they really need to stop this adrenaline hype that Miracle Gaming is bringing to the table. But as soon as I say this, they are continuing the pursuit. So Karen, he just got his Malefic Roar. That Hayabusa is going to hurt even more right now, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem as well. Zion opted to go for a budget composition as well. He's opted to go for Dreadnought as well as Molten Answers, not going for the full Sky Guardian helmet or even the Curse helmet to bring a little bit more value. So he understands right now he's in the very tough spot. But the hook comes in, Zion gets hooked in, but Heavy Spin connects and draw. They drop bodies for this. Can they finish off Franco? Yes, they can, but at the same time, everyone is on in a choke spot. And just like that, they get 2 kills as a redemption. And this is exactly what they needed from Miracle Gaming. And guess what? That pause definitely helped them out a little bit.
Yeah, Sukarin not even in the fight, and Miracle Gaming decided to take a skirmish at a choke point. That is the best kind of areas for an Eve to fight. One real manipulation covers the entire skirmish zone, and now ALVA 8 has space to work with. They're looking to at least create space in the top lane. They need this tier 1. Prime Hashi will be the target, and as a Franco, there's nothing much that he can do. Even tries to clear the siege minion, can't do it.
Oh, this is exactly what they need right now. Who would have thought it was possible? But at the same time, Miracle Gaming, they know they dropped the ball a little bit more. Zukarin going for the split push here, takes a tier 2 down bottom, potentially setting up for a Lord Pit down bottom. So this is actually going to be helpful for them. Meanwhile, ALVA 8, do they want to take the risk, knowing that they do not have map control for this Lord push? However, all things considered, the top lane's also shoved in. So Miracle Gaming, they need to make a call. Do they go for a pickoff or do they go for the Lord push? But it seems like they're setting up to try and take an ambush to try and punish Jirachi, and Jirachi has a really, really good game sense to kind of realize that something is wrong right now.
They definitely need a pickoff for Miracle Gaming because there's just so much teamfight potential from ALVA 8. You cannot stand in the Lord Pit and fight all these heavy, big ultimates. Obviously, for Miracle Gaming, you're relying a lot on Prime Hashi and Miracle Gaming. And why they try to go on the Edith, forcing her to dismount from her mech. That means that Miracle Gaming now has lost a bit of an agency in terms of starting fights. Numinum Blast.
No way!
Flicker forward, catches 2 in the brush. No follow-up though. And you can see the OG Shadow Kill is used by Zukarin in the backline, chucking them down. And ALVA 8 losing that Lolita in front line. Rumor manipulation used. But the hook, oh, they caught it Rishiki. Miracle Gaming, MY, you are too damn good with the iron hook. Miracle Gaming gets 3 and they lose none.
No way, that blind Numenon Blast was uncalled for. ALVA 8 wasn't expecting for the entire full fight, and because of this, they just dropped the lead, and Miracle Gaming was somehow able to survive it all. And Miracle Gaming has got to be counting their lucky stars that Jirachi was nowhere to be found. And like you said as well, the hook coming in from Miracle Gaming just completely dumpstering Shiki right from the get-go. Who would have thought that was possible? But guess what? Sometimes in the right circumstances, you are going to be able to come on top.
Just a bit weird that Windsmoke went for that Numenon Blast. You caught 2 guys, sure, but your team isn't in the fight. So, bit of a disjointed coordination in that team fight. Miracle Gaming now gets the Lord. An unprecedented situation. I mean, I'm struggling to understand what we're looking at, but Miracle Gaming so far have been absolutely impressive.
Oh, feels bad for ALVA 8. Like that, he got the setup perfectly, but the problem with it was that they had no vision for people inside the bush, and ALVA 8 weren't expecting to overcommit that. But as soon as they did it, it was a little bit too late because everything was all untallied in terms of setups. But with that play, the Lord pushing down bottom, that is going to be a 9k goldie, potentially 10k for Miracle Gaming. But now the hook's on towards the Archive heavy speed will be expended for this Lord push. So Miracle Gaming is going to try and chip away in all the objectives for now.
It's going to be so hard to defend the base without the heavy speed. OG Shadow Kill used by Zucarian is going to be able to get out with the shadows. Very easy, quick and nice. Miracle Gaming trying to push down that bot inhibitor. Not able to do it just now, but So Satoru is going to get gone on real world manipulation, also used as well. The hook, you can't use it blindly in front. Not able to get Eliora back, thankfully, but Miracle Gaming have done significant damage to the base.
Yeah, you can no longer disrupt the real world manipulation as back in the day. So this is a little bit of annoying as well. So the hook, he made an attempt. Unfortunately, even though it connected, but because his real manipulation was still available, it will not be cancelled. So it's like a free purify on the on this Eve. So it makes it a little bit difficult to actually punish him in that regard. So fortunately for them, they somehow hold on to the tier 3s, but it's still a very, very slim chance. They managed to equalize the economy a little bit, but still favoring Miracle Gaming a little bit more. The Hunter Strike will be purchased out from Jirachi. There's a little bit more damage and mobility, but it seems like they need to rely on a split push to somehow equalize the economy and drag it out for another 4 to 5 minutes. And when that happens, this is where we'll see Aaron kind of pop off with this 1-1, unless he gets bit off by the Franco again.
It's going to be tough. Miracle Gaming, they've already set up the plan. Set up their bot side half a minute before the next Lord comes. And Alpha 8 knows this. They cannot access the bottom side of the map at all. And unfortunately, on that top side, sure, you got the tier 2, but it is an area that Miracle Gaming can easily give up. Middle wave shoved in, bottom wave also building up really slowly, just in time for the Lord to spawn. Now, Alpha 8, they need to look for those big team fights, and it has to be kind of a wipe for them to even have a chance to come back, because Miracle Gaming have that map control.
Yeah, and as of yet, you can see Miracle Gaming, they're already setting up for the purple buff as well. So Alpha 8, however, they have the Lord control in this favor, so this is actually huge for them. So they can actually do something about it, but mid control, tier 1 still standing for Miracle Gaming. So that is something that Alpha 8 has to be a little bit careful as well, because if the fight extends to that region, they are going to be at a disadvantaged position. So Alpha, playing it slow, they're backing out a little bit more, they're giving respect for Miracle Gaming. But look at behind, Vinsmoke, he's looking for the big Numenon blast. However, the rest of the teams are not in position to fight this. Vinsmoke gets blocked out. That's going to be the Bulwark baited out as well. So that's going to be a little bit of a slow skirmish. But Hashi says, I am going to pick Zion as well. Heavy Speed mid command as well.
Eliora! Eliora, he might die. The OG Shadow Kill forcing Eliora out of the fight, so he can't use that ultimate. Shiro able to get away. They have lost Aaron Shiki. This fight has been disastrous. A double kill for the Edith of all heroes. Vinsmoke third to go. Miracle Gaming finding another opening, and now the flicker forward into a lockdown. Jirachi bites the dust. Eliora gets an exchange, but it's a 4-for-1 in favor of Miracle Gaming.
Yeah, Zucarian completely zoning Eliora from that fight. And a very awkward heavy spin engagement kind of allowed them to take advantage of the situation. And just like that, Miracle Gaming, they're knocking Crystal. This might be game for them, and it will be game. And that's going to be Miracle Gaming with a very convincing one-sided massacre against Alva Gaming for game number 1.
Draft-wise, look good for Alva 8, but macro-wise, Miracle Gaming just showed us a masterclass on how to play Mobile Legends. From start to end, they read Alva 8's movement like a book. They won all these team fights, and I must say, Alva 8 really felt like they were a bit disjointed in those mid to late game decisions, right? We saw that last fight. Zucarian gets to the back line and able to unleash a full ultimate on that Eve, and essentially just making all these fight disadvantages for Alva 8. And this was kind of the first time where we saw Alva 8 trying to make a move, gets absolutely countered by a counter gang for Miracle Gaming. And just look at the top right screen, the Benedetta just didn't get to play the game at all.
Yeah, this is just so awkward as well. Like, you have to give shout out to Miracle Gaming on his Franco hooks, man. Like, he's been able to get those crucial timings as well. But on top of that as well, Alva 8 has been engaging in very, very questionable plays with the heavy spin, and who can blame him, right? Like, he needs to get a very, very big lockdown. But while this is actually happening, pay attention to how this fight actually breaks down, right? It was a big Numenon blast, it was a big setup, but the biggest threat here was actually Zucarian, always time and time again cutting the backlines, making sure that everyone for Alpha 8 could not re-engage. And prior to this fight, he was actually on top of Aaron Shiki, which kind of forced 1-1 so low to point that he gets picked off. And even here as well, Eliora completely desynced from the entirety of the fight because of how Zucarian kind of pushed them all back. And this Hayabusa is just making waves to allow Miracle Gaming so many opportunity and denying Alpha 8 that wombo combo strategy that they're playing around with.
Yeah, Alpha 8 spent the time in the only 2 major team fights of this game trying to juggle the OG Shadow Q instead of committing to a team fight, because they just cannot afford to do so. Because Miracle Gaming had to style on Iliora towards the very end. A very convincing win, and wow, for once Miracle Gaming putting a convincing game on the board in a game where we both can, you know, agree that ALVA 8 just had a very strong draft, but Miracle Gaming completely shut all of that down.
Yeah, that was just a little bit unfortunate as well. They just could not find those opportunities. They gave a little bit too much of a head start for Miracle Gaming, especially for Sukarian, when even though he's got 3-0-6, but as a Hayabusa, that's what you expect to do. You just supposed to cut the back lines, you just be annoying the back lines and let your team do the job. In this case, surprise, surprise, Prime Hashi with a 6-0-6 on the Edith. Did not expect it at all as a tank, but guess what? He gets the job done. And to my surprise, he actually went for the Featherlight as well as Winter Trunket to boost out his ultimate's damage, which is interesting enough considering that normal times Edith will be played as a, I would say, a mage, a tank role, which is kind of weird for me, to be honest. And he's got 41k damage, which is kind of surprising as well.
He dealt the highest damage of his team as an XP Edith. I mean, we probably won't see this ever again anytime soon. But just again, we look at that matchup, right? Edith against Vendetta, out level, outplay, out damage, everything that shouldn't have happened has happened in game 1. This sets up a good precedence for the series, honestly.
Yeah, I've never seen someone play Edith like that, which is kind of weird. Further,
would you try it when you get home later?
I actually want to understand through his minds on why he actually went for the Feather, right? If you think about it, Edith is kind of like a tanky physical composition, but the magic damage comes from the ultimate itself. So I think I want to do a little bit more research here, give you guys a little bit more information right after this break as we try to decipher everything. But before that, I would like to thank our amazing sponsors here for providing everything as well. Snapdragon Elite Gaming, when winning matters, is all powered by the Snapdragon chip itself. Yeah,
and they have given us this platform, they've given the players the platform to demonstrate what they're made of, and they should make use of that to, you know, kind of show everyone that they deserve to be here. But aside from that, we also got to thank Samsung Galaxy for powering all of our gameplay and being here with us on this journey. Check out their latest product, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and share with us your most epic moments playing your favorite games. But if you guys want to unleash the beast when it comes to gaming, you want to bleed green, you want to be able to be at tip-top performance, just check out Monster Energy at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, if you want the best top-up deals for your Mobile Legends diamonds, look nowhere further other than www.kachishop.com.
Yep, be sure to check out all our amazing sponsors as well. But as of yet, we'll be taking a very short break. And right after this break, we'll be back with game number 2 for you guys. And this is the Snapdragon Pro Series. And we'll see you guys right after this break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Yeah. We be hot, mama got game. Check my team, we like the flame. We be bougie, y'all sound the same. We be, mama got game. We be hot, mama got game. Check my team, we like the flame. We be bougie, y'all sound the same. We be, mama got game. Yeah. We be cooking something new. Hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls, cause we don't do it like you do. We be cooking something new. Hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls. Yeah, mama got game. Mama got game. Yeah, mama got game. Yes. Yeah, mama got game. Rockin' be rockin' the game. Hear them screaming, they screaming my name. We be up on the fame. We be all of the power, we reign. Rockin' be rockin' the game. Hear them screaming, they screaming my name. We be up on the fame. We be all of the power, we reign. We be cooking something new. Hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls, cause they don't do it like we do. We be cooking something new. Hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls. Yeah, mama got game. Mama got game. Yeah, mama got game. Yes. Yeah, mama got game.
Hey, welcome back. This is the lower brackets round 3 match number 2 in Miracle Gaming currently in the lead against ALVA 8 in this lower bracket matchup. And one step away from Miracle Gaming to actually advance, while one step away from ALVA 8 calling it quits for the fight for the prize pool as they need to head in towards potentially the Open Finals. In this case, we'll come back to the Snapdragon Elite Gaming Mobile Legends Bang Bang. My name is ICBaby12. Joining me is going to be Husky as we take you through the commentary of every single match thus far. Interesting enough, the Edith.
I went over to our friends at the BM broadcast, and they actually had a different outlook for game 1 compared to us. Like we thought that ALVA 8 has a better approach, but they think that Miracle Gaming just has a better draft overall, and they just played to the conditions. And for them, the Edith was actually a pretty smart pick. So yeah. I just love the different opinions, but I can understand why, right? Able to win the lane against Benedetta, that was kind of an extra boon for Miracle Gaming. With that being said, all of this made possible by our friends over at Snapdragon Elite Gaming. When winning matters, they gave us a platform. This is the first season, the first installments for Mobile Legends Bang Bang, but don't be fooled by it. They have done plenty of other game titles, some even going into Season 2, and we're just very glad to be here.
Exactly, but at the same time as well, all things considered, without you guys as well, most importantly, you guys watching at home, we can't spell fun without all of you. And thank you guys so much as well for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, because we will continue more with you guys, and we'll provide with you guys one of the best esports experience here for the Snapdragon Pro Series. And all things considered, let's talk a little bit more on how the game went. I like that we talked about Edith. We were a little bit questionable as well. It was so smart, but in terms of the itemization, the feather actually helps the Edith a little bit more, because little they know, Edith's passibility scales off magic power, its ultimate scales off magic power, and Edith has two things that is lacking: mobility and attack speed. Having that one value feather kind of allowed him to just do what an Edith is supposed to do, which is kind of pretty much be that marksman tank role that is needed. So it makes so much sense now why he was able to dish out so much damage, which obviously interface wise and graphic wise is not exactly the flashiest one, but it actually works out in their favor. So this is very smart coming from them. So I'm looking forward to see whether or not it is respectable. We talked about how when their matchup against Evo Gaming, Evo Gaming actually first phase banned the Edith against Miracle Gaming for this particular reason, and now it makes so much sense because I've never played an Edith with that build, but somehow they made it work.
I guess they were also at the same time, now that you mention it, right, they were looking for a tank shredder, right? They don't really have the agency to destroy tank. Brody not really the best choice, so the Edith with that item does perfectly. But I do agree with you. I want to see if ALVA 8 will respect that Edith. I think it definitely does warrant a ban at this point. You know, we saw them ban the Fanny, we see them ban the Kaja and the Farmist, but maybe it's time that Edith gets a bit of attention. This time though, Miracle Gaming gets to be on the blue side, get that pick, get that priority, whereas ALVA 8 tend to react.
well, first phase ban is going to be Joy, pretty sure from them. But this time, most likely, Miracle Gaming is going to be leaning more onto Fredrin a bit more. ALVA 8, do they want to waste that ban against the EDIF, or do they risk just picking it up themselves and trying it out? Because not many players do have the experience, and even myself as well. I'm a tank player. I don't play a lot of EDIF. I mostly play the traditional ones like Kufra, Jawhead, Franco, or maybe even Matilda to some degree. So I feel like it's a bit weird to actually be dropping the EDIF. Doesn't necessarily become the strongest, but ALVA 8, they do respect it. They will take it out.
Yeah, and one of the crux for game number 1 was that Jirachi completely lost the lane against EDIF, right? We were expecting, both these XP laners had their win condition in the EDIF against Benedetta matchup, but Jirachi just got outclassed, and right now maybe ALVA 8 wants to dampen that pressure, but it gives Jirachi a better lane. But the EDIF ban definitely doesn't solve all the problem. We've seen Prime Hashi go for a more offensive approach with the Dirov. Maybe we will see that offensive matchup. Fanny will still be the ban, but Miracle Gaming, now they will take action. Ban Glue, ban Kaja.
Alright, two very, very annoying pick of heroes. Franco is something that I think ALVA 8 may consider just banning off, but by doing so, they are going to let the Fredrin slide. They are going to let the potential carry 1-1 as well, but
okay.
no. They allow the Fredrin, Miracle Gaming. Do they pick it up for Zukari once again, or do they stick with this Hayabusa? Because we've seen a couple of Hayabusa bans so far in the entire tournament, and I think it's something that they do need to respect, considering how ALVA 8 was struggling with Zukari's Hayabusa in the previous game. So this time, Miracle Gaming, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Fredrin, or is it going to be the Hayabusa?
Even if they take the Fredrin, they can still kind of flex it, right? We've seen Fredrin getting flexed a couple of times, though there is a higher success rate in the jungle thus far in this tournament, but Miracle Gaming now has a plethora of options, and they will stick with the Fredrin. It just gives them a bit more of a branching options to go for.
Oh, seems like it's going to be the Fredrin coming from them. ALVA 8, however, could be bringing in the Moskov for themselves first phase pick. We've seen a lot of Moskovs lately, and ALVA 8 just pretty okay with it, just picking it off just for the sake of just flexing maybe. I'm not exactly sure why these days people are leaning on the Moskov. Still not a personal fan, but out of all the marksman department, I think it does contribute in terms of a lot of attack speed and gives you a little bit more survivability. But Valentina gonna be second one for ALVA 8, pretty no-brainer for them. Miracle Gaming now forced to actually react whether or not do they want to give big ultimates to them. In this case, Lapu Lapu is really good. Fredrin is really good as well. Not big ultimates that can be used as well. Picking Arkai here would be pretty bad for Miracle Gaming, but the Xavier, not a big fan of it. But at the same time, the Dawning Light doesn't necessarily hit hard on the Valentina compared to the Xavier.
Yeah, and this is, you don't normally see that Xavier get first phase, right? So Miracle Gaming, they basically say, you know what, we reveal our core to you, but we keep our marksman hidden. And now ALVA 8, what is the answer? Sure, you can start banning out the marksman, but Miracle Gaming has already amassed decent mid to late game damage that it doesn't really matter what the marksman is going to be. They can easily go back for the Brody if they want to. ALVA 8 just challenging their Lapu with the Benedetta once more. I think we can expect a slightly different dynamic in Game 2 for the XP lane.
Most likely it's going to be the case. However, we've seen this draft coming from Miracle Gaming before. They used the exact same draft to beat again Evo with a little bit of integration, right? They brought in the Xavier, they brought in the Fredrin. These are very, very strong crowd controls. And if you do your homework and due diligence, they might consider bringing in the Claude again just for those combo CCs to try and set up for a team fight. In this case, ALVA 8, do they take the bait? Because as of yet, this Valentina doesn't have a lot of ultimates to actually steal with besides the Dawning Light. Arguably, it's good and all, but the range on a Xavier and the play styles of how Xavier is played is so far back, which oftentimes will force the Valentina to be caught out of position.
I was thinking of Beatrix, now doesn't look too bad of a choice for Miracle Gaming, right? You had that Beatrix, same thing, you have that AoE and you have just a bit more sustained damage when ALVA 8 finally reviews that tank. And obviously for ALVA 8, they are banning out the Franco. You're just preventing Miracle Gaming from having any catch capability. That was what really shut them down in the previous game. But I just feel like Miracle Gaming has a lot more freedom. And now with the Brody ban, it really does feel like we're looking at either a Melissa or a Beatrix for Miracle Gaming.
Yeah, I agree with the Melissa pickup, but I feel like based on this situation, Miracle Gaming has two options. It's either they go for the Beatrix or they go for the Claude, or even the carry as well if they decide to go for it. But as of yet, ALVA 8 has not have a very tanky composition, right? Benedetta was played a little bit of DPS in the previous game. I think in this scenario, the safest bet right now would be just banning off a potential jungler that can actually outpace the Frederick. In this case, Martis needs to be taken out, and yes, they will do that.
Yeah, it's very smart ban from Miracle Gaming, right? They don't want anyone to really displace them in these fights. Martis very annoying. ALVA 8, pretty much the same approach with that Arkai jungle. Once more, giving it another go. But we've seen this interaction. When you have an Arkai, it looks good until you see that Xavier, which has a lot of way to really stop you. If you can't get the heavy spin in, it becomes a lot more difficult. And the Melissa comes through from Miracle Gaming. I'm just looking at that Roma potential. It's going to be the Ruby.
Okay, I like the Melissa. Just because of how the go away works as well. The heavy speed can't exactly penetrate and actually punish the Melissa. The Ruby, not so much convincing. It's a little bit disruptive. It does kind of annoys the Valentina if he tries to cut the backlines. It does kind of annoy the Ruby as well, maybe even the Moskov. But I think this is pretty smart coming from Miracle Gaming. But ALVA 8 now, final pick here. Who's it going to be? Which jungler? Or is it going to be a Vendetta? No, sorry, it's going to be an Arkai jungler. So most likely they need another roamer that can actually match against this Ruby. So in this case, do they just back off and just go for Enchanter playstyle? I think it wouldn't be too bad, but they will lose a lot of initiation once again. But okay, they go for the Kufra.
There's not too much options left on the board as well. I was thinking like Kufra, not the best choice, but probably the best out of the worst. I don't see Matilda as an option.
I think
either.
Kufra is just solely so that he can actually go up against Miracle Gaming. Like Ruby doesn't really do well against the Kufra. Once the bossing ball comes in, every single passive ability and every single skill from Ruby is just gonna be so much harder to execute.
Yeah, I feel like this definitely is kind of ALVA 8 don't have much choice, and the Kufra seems to be the safer and the best option for them. Miracle Gaming now, they are the one who looks to be in control of the series and of the draft. But if we've seen anything, we've seen a lot of upsets. So ALVA 8 looking to stay in this tournament by winning game 2. But if they get knocked out, if they lose this one, they will walk away with only $500 US. It's not too bad, but you definitely want more. Game 2 coming up between Miracle Gaming and ALVA 8.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be game number 2, and one of these teams is going to be potentially eliminated for the fight of the prize pool, where, however, they are still in it for the challenge series, and that's going to be the most important one, because that is where the grand prize is on the line. Stick around to find out, because this is going to be game number 2, and Miracle Gaming on the blue side, and ALVA 8 going to be on the red side. And seems like it is going to be the Arkai jungle once again having a very difficult time for game number 1. Game 2, this time without the Franco as well as the ADIV. Hopefully, he will have a little bit of a better situation to be in.
Yeah, there's lesser ways to stop him. No Purify on Miracle Gaming, so you're less worried about, the heavy spin just completely being useless in a lot of these team fights. But of course, Miracle Gaming able to secure that some early lane presence and river presence to the bottom side. We see that Xavier with the circle also stopping Vinsmo from getting any sort of engage. This is kind of the scenario that you want to see out of Miracle Gaming, and ALVA 8 they are going to try though. Vinsmo just goes in, contesting this orange buff, but Miracle Gaming himself is going to stop it. Can they win the retry wall again this time? Yes, they do. Zion gets the buff.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be the disengage coming from ALVA 8. We've seen this happen from game number 1. It was hit and miss. They didn't exactly work out for ALVA 8 considering they've lost their bodies for this, but this time they're calling everybody to start the fight. Zion, however, very early heavy spin being expended to get a pickoff, however, is not going to get himself a kill. Meanwhile, Miracle Gaming once again in a very awkward spot. Vinsmo just harassing this Ruby, and smart enough, Ruby not using the passive abilities to move, preventing those mini stunts is gonna help him survive this. Meanwhile, Aaron Shiki is gonna get completely punished, and that's gonna be first blood for Soul Sataru.
A bit of a desync with that dive. Soul Sataru couldn't kill that wave fast enough, so they had to end up giving Zucarian away. And it was first blood. Well, it wasn't first blood for ALVA 8 at least, but ALVA 8 they do get the turtle. So Miracle Gaming, a bit of that missed timing. Nonetheless, though, you're able to slow down Aaron Shiki. Would have been better if Aaron Shiki actually didn't get the kill in return. Now Vinsmo contesting the purple buff again. Zucarian is very far behind Zion. He's looking for another retry steal. Miracle Gaming doing his best to keep Zion in place, and the purple buff I think might have gotten stolen. Zucarian pinned to the wall, can't even use his skills. Zion gets an easy kill.
Exactly. This is huge for ALVA. This is the game plan they wanted to do from game number 1. Didn't exactly go well for them, but this time, with the right circumstances, they've got the driver's seat in their favor, and it's actually allowing them to do what's intended. This time, they will have a huge margin of lead to actually try to make an attempt at this. Meanwhile, Miracle Gaming, they have to play a little bit slow because you can see constant invis towards the jungle. They want to make sure that Zukarin doesn't have the good time right now. They know for a fact that he has been the core annoying player from game number 1, and this time they are going to go in for the invade. They're calling Prime Hashi a big shift and really coming in, and also the I'm offended. They catch up Valentina, but however, Alora flickers out of there. He's going to be A-okay, and Miracle Gaming, they have expended every single thing, and they got nothing for it.
Yeah, the saving grace is that Zukarin secured his orange buff, but he is, again, a level behind Zion. Prime Hashi getting forced back by Jirachi as well. Like you pointed out, ALVA 8 basically got out scot-free with absolutely no loss.
Oh, this is tough. This is very, very tough indeed. Corrosion Scythe already purchased up on Aaron Shiki, so he's gonna scale a little bit more with this mask off. However, Prime Hashi opting the Chieftain's rate once again. But the top side, they do get another kill on Aaron Shiki despite his itemizations. This is not looking good. He doesn't have shoes as well, so that means he is all glass cannon. And aside from that, this is gonna be easy pickings. However, I'm afraid that comes in, could not sync up with the Tyrant's Revenge, so that is gonna be the disengage coming in. Do they want to force it? I don't think so.
And I just want to say, that's the second time in a row that Aaron Shiki lost a 1v1 to Soul Satoru. So, something that ALVA has to be really careful about. They are invading the purple buff once more. Prime Hashi, 1v1 down bot. Vince Mo gets the engage off. They will try to get Miracle Gaming MY out of the way, pinning him into the wall. They just need a bit of more damage for the final finishing touch, and they get it. Zion finds that kill, and now he's looking to get out of this one, but he gets locked down. Zion gets traded back. Killing spree for the Melissa, and in the meantime, Turtle secured by Zukarin.
Yeah, this is huge for Miracle Gaming. They needed to find this opportunity to actually get a kill off this, but ALVA 8, they overcommitted to stay. Like, they had the right knockdown and pin down, but it was just the wrong target. In this case, killing off Miracle Gaming is not exactly the most ideal situation. It allowed the Xavier to get free trade. It allowed Soul Soldier to get free hits all the way through, which kind of forced them in a very, very awkward position. And because of this, now the marksman Soul Satoru is 3-0-0 compared to Aaron Shiki is only 1-2-1. And as of yet, this is actually going to help Miracle Gaming scale a little bit better compared to the later stage game. However, the economy-wise is still pretty 50-50, so anything can still happen this stage of the game.
And I just want to say that they committed people onto the top lane and they still lost the Moskov. At least they will get the Ruby, right? No, they can't get him. They committed both Eliora and Vince Smoke, and they still lost the Moskov.
Oh, feels bad for Aaron Shiki. I'm not gonna lie, he just doesn't have the mobility to survive this. Even that, the lockdowns coming from Miracle Gaming, once they catch you, it's nearly impossible to get out of it because of the Savior's stun as well as the Ruby. It's just so very difficult for the to actually get out. And as of yet, this is pretty much a lost cause for the goal lane for ALVA 8. Meanwhile, Miracle Gaming, they will find a little bit of glimmer hope. Zion looking for the wraparound as well. The catch coming in from him is gonna force him out. Zukairian is going to steal the orange buff away. Now they're going to be forced to fight the issue, but now here comes from the back lines. Jirachi snipes off the roamer, and he's going to back off Windsmoke wherever, down towards the lowest health. It will also be traded off by Miracle Gaming.
They committed the whole team only to kill a tank. Now that bottom lane is open, Prime Haji is going to get the tier 1 for free. Middle lane also getting pressure as well. ALVA 8 forced to defend this turret, and they lose side lane control. Miracle Gaming once more just winning that macro game.
Yeah, Prime Hashi is just, you know, forced to actually just split push all the way through. So far off, he's setting up for the Lord down, the turtle down bottom, which is going to give them a little bit more upper edge, especially when Zukarin needs those level spikes. And as soon as I say this, Prime Hashi finally picks off the pesky Alora, finally dying for a second time, and now transitioning for a tier 2 in their favor as they continue to scale against ALVA 8.
We not only are witnessing a macro masterpiece from Miracle Gaming, they to a certain extent are winning individual lanes as well, right? I guess we see a very clear goal lane gap. The Moskov completely shut down, and now with all tier 1s destroyed, he has so less space to work with, but heavy spin used, trying to at least isolate the Ruby, but Miracle Gaming MY has the flicker, gets out.
Oh, nice attempt there coming for ALVA 8. However, it's just not enough as well because they need the damage output. And currently, Aaron Shiki just doesn't have the damage to do so. And Vince Wong, he's got all this perfect setup to set up for the team. But Miracle Gaming, they are very quick to respond to this. Prime Hashi Gonna be playing a bit slow. It all comes down to the next engagement, and this, as of now, is going to be very difficult to do so because Zukarian is starting to scale a little bit harder towards this game compared to Zion now.
And he has completely recovered from all those effort for nothing. And oh no, Aaron Shiki!
Oh no, not like this.
Oh no, caught out in the brush. Half a second made so much difference. Tier 2 is going to go down. Prime Hashi is zoning out the rest of ALVA 8. Winspoke, he's looking for an engage, misses, and now he's caught in between. They will pull him back, try to taunt him for a while. He's immobilized, locked down, rooted. Prime Hashi in the forefront. Jirachi forced to retreat as well, but ALVA 8 just cannot do anything.
Yeah, there's just so much sustain on this Ruby as well, and it's ALVA 8, they need to find the perfect lockdown catch, and it's every single time Zion tries to make an attempt, Miracle Gaming is very smart in their position to just completely dodge the fight. They know for a fact that it's just not worth it trying to force a situation where it kind of benefits ALVA 8 a little bit more in terms of AoE control, CCs, etc. So even though they do have the damage to fight it, but it's just not worth the risk if everyone gets pinned by the heavy spin. As long as the heavy spin doesn't catch them off, they're going to be good. In this case, Zion going to be completely bullied out in this Lord contest, and just like that, they will just completely lose Lord control. However, saving grace coming for ALVA 8 is going to be trading tier 1 down bottom instead.
And Jirachi getting something done. And Miracle Gaming will have to reset that wave down bot, but in the grand scheme of things, they are in prime control. 3,000 gold advantage with the Lord in hand. Very much in the driver's seat, looking at that 2-0 sweep. And ALVA 8, like you pointed out, Darren, I mean, Zion, just very hard for him to find an engage. Xavier making life complicated. And with on top of that, Moskov needs so much more time. Miracle Gaming is just not giving him the space.
Yeah, he's got the shoes, he's looking for the DHS, but even with that, it's going to be very, very difficult because as of yet, Sosataru is looking for that 4-item progression, and this is difficult if you think about it. And now with the Lightning Truncate up on Loria, I don't think it's that much of an impact considering that it is a Valentina. It's not that great of a damage boost compared to a Xavier, whereas this Xavier right now for Shiro is already way past beyond the damage as well. He's looking for the Enchanted Talisman purchase later on as well. Once that comes up, this Xavier is going to be popping Dawning Lights all the way through, and hopefully somehow ALVA 8 is going to be able to bounce back for this fight, because with the Lords crashing in, perfect synchronization coming from Miracle MY is going to put them in awkward spot. Zion looking for the heavy spin. He has the sustain to do so. He's going to be fine. But with Smoke, he gets a big catch, but there's no follow-up. Instantly gets taunted, instantly gets bursted down. They almost lose Jirachi. Jirachi needs to survive this. No, he will not. And they will lose a 3-for-1 exchange, while Miracle Gaming will also continue their assault with tier 3. Looking for a potential fight in the Crystal. Do they get it? It seems like they do not want to take the risk in this engagement.
I just want to say, Winspoke jumps in, instantly gets pulled back by Miracle Gaming. MY taunted. While that was happening, Prime actually just leaps to the backline and assassinates the Moskov. You don't see that happening often. Miracle Gaming now have the numbers advantage, they have the space, mid inhibitor also taken out. This is just textbook Mobile Legends gameplay. I mean, as a Moskov, you are already 1-4 before that fight, and you see Alapu just leaping past the tier 3 and just dunks on you. That's how you know the game has completely spiraled out of control. ALVA 8 needs a stabilizer, but it really has to come from a godly engage. And even that, the best possible engage has been negated.
Yeah, Aaron Shiki is just not having the time of his life at all. He's just 2k behind the Melissa, who's currently 5-0-3, looking for the final item progression as well. And once that, I think it's going to be the winds of nature. I don't think Aaron Shiki can actually shut him down. In this case, the DHS already found a purchase for Aaron Shiki. I don't think it's going to be enough. They make an attempt onto his Prime Hashi, but do they even have to follow up the dude through? It seems like they would not. Dawning Light comes in. It's going to scare him off. Winspoke is trying to steer life to actually set out a fight, but the Appraisal Wrath comes in.
Zion?
He won't get focused out, but Black Lions finally, they won't get a little bit of a glimmer of hope, but Miracle Gaming just doing so much more damage, is so much a hit. Aaron Shiki finally gets his job done, but at the same time, it took him almost nearly forever, but he somehow still survives the pickup one by one, finally giving a little bit of space to do his job, and ALVA 8, they managed to equalize the score.
That is the neutralizer we've been looking for. Zion, full patience, waits for Miracle Gaming to shows up, finally gets the heavy spin that he's been looking for his entire series, pinning down Sou Satoru and allowing Aaron Shiki to really go to town, and now they will be able to get this Lord. Miracle Gaming have no way to contest this, no retribution. They will try with the Dawning Light, Miracle Gaming MY showing some presence, but just no retribution for this one. ALVA 8 able to stabilize the game state.
Yep, good fight there coming from ALVA 8. Aaron Shiki has been struggling all the way through, but the moment he had his DHS, he finally has just the right amount of damage to chip Zukarin away. So that's a little bit of a big win for them. But as soon as this happened, Miracle Gaming, from what seems to be a very dominant performance, just completely shattered. And let's take a look at the instant replay they're talking about as well, because this replay right here was a little bit awkward, because it seems like ALVA 8, they had the initial engagement, but Winsmoke was buying so much time. But as soon as they all clumped in, Zion was able, like you said as well, to completely isolate the fight into two and allowed Aaron Shiki free reign to poke through all this fight to actually win the fight at all.
Yeah, and Zirachi also helped out as well, right? He dashed in with the final blow Electro into a Petrify. So you need just one more fight like that, and they might have found his Zukarin pinned to the wall, completely disintegrate. Shiro also goes down in the process. ALVA 8 has come back in this game, finally in the lead for the very first time in the series, looking to get more Prime Hashi, looking that flicker pull to Jirachi, wants to get out, but no, so Satoru finds that kill, but ALVA 8 still have the advantage. All the way to Sington, Aaron Shiki looking for an inhibitor turret, should be able to find it up top. Miracle Gaming MY making there in time to prevent any sort of structure getting destroyed, but ALVA 8 have basically clawed their way back.
Yeah, Prime Hashi almost dying to the glowing one stick on Elora on top of it all. So it was still a nail-biting fight coming from Miracle Gaming, but ALVA 8 is now feeling a little bit more confident now, considering that they do have the Moskov finally back online. And this is very important for them, because the biggest objective right now is that if, as long as Aaron Shiki survives, they are going to be able to take some sort of fight. But if Miracle MY catches him, they're done for. Ivan now wants to use the heavy spin to disengage. He's getting a little bit greedy with this purple bomb as he steals. What? No! The spear coming from Shiki, stealing the purple bomb. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Some things are just not meant to be. Miracle Gaming, if you're taking hints right now, start to be aware. ALVA 8, they're doing things are turning in their favor.
What is going on?
And one of the prime issues that was ALVA 8 didn't have enough damage to kill off the front lines of Miracle Gaming in the first, 10 minutes. But now they have that damage. Now you can actually capitalize on that heavy spin. And ALVA 8 are taking more control of the map. Only 25 seconds until the next Lord. They're going to face check this one. Prime Haji, be careful though. Miracle Gaming coming in from the side as well. Two-man taunt with the Eye of Bandit. Vinsmoke trying to get away. Jirachi also dropping low. Both the XP laner walking out with a slither of health. But Zukarin doesn't have the HP. Zion, he's coming out from the side. They managed to root him down just for a while. ALVA 8 looking for any sort of avenue. Zion not able to pin anyone to the wall. Miracle Gaming gets out.
Oh, that was so close. Miracle Gaming, if they did not have the conceal play, they would have just died then and there. But fortunately for them, they were able to disengage from that fight. But nevertheless, right now, Aaron Shiki has got both the orange as well as purple buff. This is going to put this Moskov in a situation where he's going to get free attacks all the way through. But as soon as I say that, he does lose his buff. So he's going to be making one of the Lord. Miracle Gaming, they just got the full reset in. They have to force a fight. But this Moskov making quick work onto it, as well as Zion doing a fantastic job zoning them out. But eventually Winsmoke from behind looking for the push. He's trying to bait Miracle Gaming back, and it seems like they are going to be taking the bait. Hashi
looking for the back line. They actually found a Moskov again! That is the guy that should not go down, but they might be damaged though. Miracle Gaming and Sou Satoru, they both went down. The Benedetta coming right through Veliora. ALVA 8 salvaging that fight. Could have been a disaster. Now they're back on the Lord.
Oh my goodness, that seems to be a very close one indeed. Dawning Light connects as well, not getting the kill. He needs a little bit more. But ALVA 8, once in a very, very awkward position, now in a even better position, because now the face check coming from Prime Hashi is going to cost him his life. And Miracle Gaming, the 3-man down. ALVA 8 going to go for a little bit more fight. Jirachi pops the immortality, and he is going to be able to respond in towards this fight. And Miracle Gaming going to be losing out in so much damage. Jirachi getting the Brute Force Breastplate. This is where Miracle Gaming will lose out in terms of damage output, just like that. What seems to be a favorable game now starting to turn into a disaster for Miracle Gaming.
Jirachi is going to be very happy with this game state. Finally get to play Mobile Legends the way he wanted. as a Benedetta, getting the most important kill in that game as well. You know, taking out Soul Satoru, who is the prime damage dealer of the team. Zion face checking this brush, but no damage from Miracle Gaming. They have to defend the base.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough indeed, but you hate to see it, especially for Miracle Gaming fans. But as of yet, ALVA 8 has got to be counting their lucky stars. This is the lower brackets elimination for you guys, man. All decks, all the cards faced up, but speak of the devil, Sukarian now going to get caught up with the heavy speed. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. They pick him up, but however, a big catch from Sotaro just shuts him back down, takes down Winspo, scares off Jirachi. They will somehow hold on. Dawning Light doesn't connect once again, but they still need to defend against the Lord ALVA 8. They're trying to make the best out of a sticky situation. Zion dropped out pretty low. Can they get more? No, they cannot. They just do not have the conditions to do so.
Thankfully for Prime Hashi, securing that kill with the Chieftain's Rage, but they still lost 2 inhibitor turrets. So all things considered, ALVA 8 getting a better trade as well, and Jirachi throughout all that fight didn't even bother joining. He cuts that bot wave, takes the bot inhibitor, and now this is the worst case scenario for Miracle Gaming. You have them inhibitor turret, but your side lanes are going to get continuously pushed in as the Lord will spawn in the next 70 seconds. ALVA 8 have gotten full map control.
Oh, this is huge for Shiro right now. He just got his Divine Glaive. This is where the Xavier will start to hurt a little bit more. He was lacking in terms of damage multiple times with this Dawning Light, but with this final Divine Glaive, hopefully it is going to be enough to scare off ALVA 8. But like I said as well, the bigger objective for Miracle Gaming to win this fight is to make sure that Aaron Shiki gets taken out first. If he survives, there's no hope for Miracle Gaming. So they need to find an opportunity for this right now. And hopefully, with the Xavier Dominant Light, it is going to get Aaron Shiki low enough for kill threshold for them to allow to make the jump. But it's going to be tough. Because as of yet, look at Winspoke's position. He is in a very awkward angle, but he is going to be looking to punish Soul Satoru as much as they can. However, the hook comes in, Heavy Spin will be expended, but it's all been a bait from ALVA 8. Dawning Light comes in, finally scouts out a couple members from ALVA 8, but that seems to be the disengagement coming from Miracle Gaming.
ALVA 8 needs to buy time for the Heavy Spin to come back up, and Jirachi is doing exactly that. He's going to shove that top wave as the Lord spawns. Miracle Gaming, they're looking for control, but they're not going to find anything. Prime Hashi needs to be careful. They're going to use the conceal right into the brush and the counter conceal, but the flicker forward, they get the taunt! That is the fight! That is Aaron Shiki gone! Miracle Gaming making the god call of this game, but they need to make haste. Look at the top wave. Jirachi has shoved it in. It forces Karen to recall. They cannot contest this but they snipe Finsmoke across the map. Now Jirachi, he has to join the fight. Terrify is used as well. Jirachi from the back. Can he get final blow? Lacto completely whiffing. Prime Hashi in the front. Lord getting engaged on. Miracle Gaming keeping ALVA 8 far away from this objective. So Karen is walking there with the Retribution. Dawning Light used again. Prime Hashi doing a fantastic job. Miracle Gaming back in the game with this Lord.
This is exactly what they needed as well. It's all go time for Miracle Gaming. They found Aaron Shiki, and because of that, ALVA 8 now has no choice but to buy time. But for how long? Shiki for them now is 5 seconds on the sidelines. Lord's going to be pushing in. He's going to be A-okay. It's not the end of the road. They still got a lot of room with. However, if you are Miracle Gaming's fans, this is something that I think it's the most beneficial situation here. Now, ALVA 8, they're forced to go for immortalities and switch up to survive this, because anyone past 20 minutes, if they die, it's over. Heavy Spin being expended right now as well. They catch one, but do they finish off Miracle Gaming and why? They burn out the first immortality. Can he get the kill? Yes, they can, and now they bounce back 4v5. Miracle Gaming is going to be pushed back.
That is the immortality gone. That is Ruby out for 45 seconds. ALVA 8 have a huge window. Push that mid-wave frame, clear out the side lanes. They even kept that top inhibitor turret healthy. So Karen, you've got to be really careful right now. ALVA 8 able to stabilize the game. Basically, Miracle Gaming, all they got was a neutralizer. No advantage out of that one. Zion very, very far forward. Zukarian also forced to relinquish control of their own jungle. ALVA 8 back in the driver's seat. All the lanes are pushing in.
Yeah, despite having the Divine Glaive up on Shiro, it feels like he's not doing enough in the final item. It seems like Aaron Shiki does have the Athena shield alongside with Zion, so this is going to put Aaron Shiki in a very awkward position. He has a sustains, but does he have the damage? But it seems like they might have as well, because now here comes the attack. They get a nice taunt on Jirachi, goes for the INVICTUS, gets out. Prime Hashi tries to re-engage as well. Winspoke completely misses the Tyrant Rage. However, Shiki, he's left alone. He got caught out, and the rest of the team completely bailed out on the side. He tried to go for a snake as well, but no, it's not going to be enough. Miracle Gaming, they take him out. 54 seconds on the sidelines, and this time ALVA ALVA 8 will be pushed back as Miracle Gaming is going to hold on. Malefic raw switch ups for the side of Aaron Shiki, but his mistake was his positioning, and Miracle Gaming was able to capitalize and punish that.
Try to explain this to me, friend. Why was Aaron Shiki in that position of all places on the map? I struggle to understand the train of thoughts, but thankfully they had all the ways pushed in, so not a lot was lost. All they relinquished was a bit of map control. Aaron Shiki will be back up in time, but you cannot make mistakes like that as a Moskov. You cannot leave yourself in the open. The team retreated, but Aaron Shiki stayed in the line of sight of a Ruby. I mean...
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, but as of yet, Shiki now 2 seconds on the sidelines. They push back to the base of ALVA 8. However, Miracle Gaming, they have to play the safe approach. They've got all the lanes shoved in, but the Lord is going to be up and coming from both sides. ALVA does have a lot of immortalities up, so Miracle Gaming, they cannot afford to commit to this fight, knowing that if they make one wrong move, it's it for them. While ALVA 8 has got the biggest defense right now, so Totaro just got his reset on his immortality, but that's only 1 against 4 coming from ALVA 8, so it's just not worth it. Keeping the lane check is going to be the way to go, but guess what? Pay attention to the minimap. It seems like they're looking to have Aaron Shiki potentially snipe the crystal away from Miracle Gaming, and they realize that this is potentially happening. They concede Lord control, and they are going to be forced to back out for now.
One thing to note is that Aaron Shiki has no immortality because he got caught in the base just now. So if he gets caught one more time, he is gone. He only has the Trunket to keep him alive. Now a potential engage from Winspo. Can they at least get a pickup? Yes, they do onto Miracle Gaming. Heavy spin used as well. Aaron Shiki dealing with that mid-wave. Miracle Gaming, do they still want to continue this fight? There's no opening. Less than a minute for Miracle Gaming to come back to life. ALVA 8 have all the things that they need to get this Lord.
Oh, this 24 minutes Luminous Lord is going to be very difficult to mow down. They still have an opportunity, but they just didn't want to risk it. They've got more immortalities, but finally Miracle Gaming, they say they've got 3 immortalities to contest this, and they may consider fighting this as well. Zukarin waiting for a right time on his first start as well. Nodding like connects on 3, but it's not huge enough. But here, Jirachi starting with Electro final blow. He gets hunted out as well. He might actually die. That's going to be the first immortality burned out as well. He finally goes down in the hands of Melissa. He gets 1. He's looking for a second one. However, it's going to be Allura that shuts him down. Nodding like doesn't finish off Winspo, but the Lord still standing with 10 HP left. But on the bottom lane, we do see a contest from Aaron Shiki. They might lose the Lord, but they're holding for the dear life. Zukarin doesn't have the retribution, but he messes it up. And it's going to be stolen by Zion as well. He might lose his life, and he will lose his life. Well, ALVA 8 takes 4 for 1. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Aaron Shiki tried his best to rat the crystal. Unfortunately, didn't work out in their favor, because in the midst of all this confusion, Miracle Gaming will have to defend and split their focus. But with this play, 3v2, everyone's on the sidelines. Do they have the damage to break through the crystal with half HP left? The Lord knocking in. Miracle Gaming's got to throw bodies for this as well, with Shiro dropping a couple HPF. It feels like they need to find a way to stop this aggression, and it's going to be a very difficult defense.
10 seconds for Sosatoru. But I don't know if they have enough though. Winspo, he's just got to keep Shiro away. Eliora, he's looking at something. Dawning Light is used as well. Miracle Gaming, MY, he has the immortality. He's going to come back to life, but they will start knocking at the crystal. There's just not enough damage to stop this one. ALVA 8 clawing back from the jaws of elimination to take game number 2. And I just want to put it out there. Miracle Gaming, remember this number. 69 was the health of the Lord. The Zukarin Cliff secured, but he didn't get it. And that was how much health the Lord has in that final moments of this game.
Oh, it was so difficult, because Miracle Gaming, they had 2 choices: defend the base or steal the Lord. Either or, they had to shift their focus in multiple fights, and ALVA 8 completely outplayed them. But in case you missed out this exciting game number 2, this is going to be the highlights coming in of how things went on from both sides. Miracle Gaming, they had a very strong performance. ALVA 8 was struggling to beat Ants Emid, but it was his final moment that kind of allowed ALVA 8 to bounce back into this fight, which is Aaron Shiki finally has the room and space to do what's intended. Instead of being the primary focus, this was pretty much the start of the comeback for ALVA 8 before Miracle Gaming could have closed out the game.
It all started with a good engage from Zion, and the rest was history. Miracle Gaming kept it really close, but they started to realize that ALVA 8 now have the damage to blow through the front line. Though there are still criticisms, right? I mean, Aaron Shiki Sure, he was able to keep this game intact in that late phase, but there were a lot of times he was also the sole reason why the game was dragged out for so long. So going into Game 3, that's something that he needs to keep in mind. You can't be that greedy. Miracle Gaming has punished him over and over again. But look at this one, just the Lord's HP. 69 is the magical number. Zukarian was one auto attack for securing the Lord. The Retry even coming through. And I believe the Retry was from Zion of all people.
Oh, feels bad. That was just feels bad moment, right? Like if and only if Zukarian was able to steal that, things would have been a little bit different. Maybe with a little bit of resistance from Lord, ALVA 8 might not be able to push out to be true. They could have gotten Soul Sato back online. Unfortunately, we say it wasn't enough. So Sataru 10, 3, and 8 forced to go for immortality swaps as well as Radiant Armor just to deal with the potential burst coming from Valentina. Time and time game, he's dying to the Valentina. So you have to give props to Zaloria. He's 8-1 and 6. He's done his job really, really well. But his I'm offended steal to punish and slow down Soul Sataru is what made things worse for Soul Sataru, because of the fact that this Melissa is not allowed to do free rain damage in multiple of these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Eliora, keeping the game intact. But in the marksman department, it's safe to say that Soul Satoru is just having a way better series compared to Aaron Shiki. Something that ALVA 8 needs to kind of have a small talk about going into Game 3. That positioning was very, very scary from this Moskov for the entirety of the game. So Eliora, backbone of game number 2. But that means that they get to stay in this elimination bracket for another half an hour.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very long fight coming from both of us all, because right now we are all full resetted for both teams. It is going to be resetted down to the best of 1, the elimination match, the match point from each team. One of these teams go home with absolutely, well, I wouldn't say an utter defeat, humiliation in this case, because they've made it all the way to game number 3.
And with how close it is, I think, with any defeat, at least they give it their all, right? $500 and being able to prep for the Challenge Group stage. All things considered, one more game to go for this very first elimination series, but we again have to thank the people who made this reality, because without them, this we wouldn't have the platform to kind of, demonstrate what the good gameplays are. So thank you very much to our partner Snapdragon Elite Gaming. Thank you very much to Samsung Galaxy, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop. I'm looking forward to Game 3.
Exactly, and of course, most importantly, thank you guys for supporting your favorite team, because we can't spell fun without you. In this case, don't go anywhere. Be sure to stay tuned, get up a cup on, take a little bit short toilet break. Don't go anywhere, come back and watch game number 3, because we are going to find out who and which of this team will advance and which of this team will say goodbye until the next stages. For now, we'll see you guys right after this break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
If you got problems, just let them go. Tonight I really wanna see you lose control. A lot of drinks and flashing lights. Don't just make you wanna go and start a fight. Don't it make you wanna dance and hit the floor. Make you throw your hands and drink some more. We tearing up the club until it close. Tonight I really wanna see you lose control. Came in the club looking for a good time and a drink on ice. Tryna dance with a chick, get a kiss, then get a new lease on life. And the party real live and the DJ lit with the neon lights. And then I had to start bumping the gums and telling me about something that he just don't like. Listen, homie, I ain't here for that, and ain't hearing that, and ain't really in a chitter chat. You get to talking all that jibber jab, then I'ma hit you with a bit of jab, and you been feeling every little bit of that. So back up, this is not your house and not your table, homie, this is not your couch. Too cool, but trust I am not no slouch, cause I will now call a taste right about your mouth. It'll get real crazy, the party pumping, music intense and your heart is jumping. So you may wanna head to your car or something, you don't wanna be the one getting stumped for nothing. I be turning up in every single place that these people try to invite me in. Don't start problems, but when they start with me, they gon' have to come fight me then. I just wanna see you put your hands up to the ceiling. If you see a hater, tell them get up out they feelings. Tonight I wanna party, put my feet all in the couch. Please don't make me come and slap the taste about your mouth. If you got problems, just let them go. Tonight I really wanna see you lose control. A lot of drinks and flashing lights.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Bang Bang Season 1 Open Finals. This is our lower bracket round 3. This is our first series, elimination series, and we are going the distance. Miracle Gaming against ALVA 8, and we witnessed ALVA 8 making, ironically, a miraculous comeback in game number 2 after getting dumpstered for majority of the game. My name is Husky, alongside ICBaby12. Once again, we are here to deliver the conclusion of the first elimination series.
Well, it's all full reset. We're now back to a best of one, the decider match. One of this team will be eliminated and one of this team will advance further. However, both teams has shown strong presence in this tournament itself, and they are not out of it yet. Once again, let us introduce ourselves. Once again, my name is ICB12 and he is Husky, as we take you through the journey of how esports players are made and legends will be born. And in this case, both teams have definitely earned my respect for today. But this final game is going to be an absolute banger, guaranteed, because as of yet, it's tough to say who has the better odds. But what I do know is that my prediction is somehow still alive.
Somehow
Husky,
still alive. Absolutely.
you have had 0 prediction wins thus far.
Nope.
That game could have been your
That could have been a
oath
turnaround.
breaker, or I would say you could have broken your curse
It's
then
fine.
and there.
It's fine, you know. Sometimes it just had
But
to
it's
happen.
not over yet for
It's
Miracle
not
Gaming,
over yet,
alright?
and it's not the team's fault, you know.
There is still hope.
There is still hope. And I think for Miracle Gaming, they've been in this position, right? Even against Evo Esports in that upper bracket that we did 2 days ago, it was the same situation. Had a good lead, not able to close out the game. Now here they are. But this time, tournament lives on the line. I don't know. I'm getting a bit nervous.
Well, it's okay. Don't be worried about it here. It's your job to watch, our job to feel nervous, but most importantly, it's Samsung's job to be appreciated and contribute to our community, because without them we will not have all this epic setup here. And you can always share the epic and level up your gameplay by getting yourself a brand new Galaxy S23 Ultra, the gaming phone, or in this case the phone to be watching out for to play your Mobile Legends Bang Bang action, because that is exactly what you need to further your gameplay, because every single game you watch up on screen is just so good.
Yeah, if you wonder why you're not Mythical Glory yet, that's the answer.
Exactly.
That's the answer.
That's why your heart starts mythic, bro.
Absolutely. I'm well, yeah, I'm hard start making. Unfortunately, for now, it's gonna take a while. I give myself 2 months. I think it's enough time. But no, my mythic story not as interesting as the upcoming game. No, nothing is on the line for me. It's just bragging rights. But for Miracle Gaming and ALVA 8, it's prize pool, $500 for the team that goes out, and the team that survives this one gets to live on a bit longer. Again, good news is that they have qualified for the challenge group stage. Now it's just the fight for prize pool. Game number 3 coming up. The draft is going to be coming up.
You know, I really like how the teams are taking this opportunity to prepare themselves by going all out, even though they're fighting for prize pool. Some may consider it. Some teams may consider thinking of the bigger picture. You know, we're looking for the big prize pool, etc. But right now, Miracle Gaming and ALVA 8, they're literally showcasing themselves what needs to be fixed, what can be improved, and just take this opportunity to learn and practice. I wouldn't say it is the right time. It is a competition after all, but all things considered, they really poured their hearts and soul for game number 2. And I really like a team that gives their all. In this case, all the cards was on the table for game number 2, and hopefully they will have the stamina to go through for game number 3, because this seems to be a little bit of a repeat for Miracle Gaming, especially when they faced off against Evil Esports.
Yeah, they have been in this position before, and right now you are playing for, there's almost nothing to lose at this point, right? So I'm expecting just both teams to play freely. We'll get another quality game. Draft coming up, ALVA 8 back on blue side, Miracle Gaming on red. We saw the Edith ban, we saw the Kaja, Glue ban. Those were the common ones, the common heroes that got a ban. Now, we'll see if ALVA 8 goes back to the same bans, you know, Edith, Franco for game number 2.
Okay, you know, ALVA 8, they were in this position before. They know for a fact that they need to get rid of...
There it is.
That Edith is a problem for me because I did not know how much damage Edith can do. Bring to the table. Miracle Gaming was one of the few teams actually brought it up. I took a look into its itemization. It somehow works. I'm not a big fan of it. It's not the flashiest hero, but it kind of worked in their favor. And maybe, and just maybe, right now in this current meta, especially when you go up with Miracle Gaming, you gotta respect it. There are some teams that are really good at Fanny, there's some teams that are really good at Joy, there's some teams that are really good at Mortis, etc. But in this case, Miracle Gaming's signature has got to be that Edith. However, another hero to be talking about as well is going to be the Franco, which I think they will ban it off, considering at second game, they did ban it off second phase draft. Maybe consider taking it into its a respect ban from the get-go, either or maybe even Miracle Gaming just drafting it from the get-go, but Miracle Gaming,
they actually banned
banned
Moskov.
Okay.
I'm very surprised. I don't think that Moskov was the biggest threat in game number 2. It was more the Valentina that was doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the late game stage. That means the Joy is still on the table. Obviously, ALVA 8 will be looking for a separate ban because Joy would be a great pickup. And there it is. They banned on the Kaja. Same 3 bans from game number 2. Now Miracle Gaming, you gotta pick Glue or Joy.
I think, to be honest, they should get rid of the Joy. Joy is something that is out of the equation, because if they let go the Joy towards ALVA 8, I don't see Miracle Gaming leaning on towards Kufra a little bit more. So far, ALVA 8, they have kind of demonstrated it, but no, they picked the Glue instead. They're banging on the fact that ALVA 8 may be considering picking the Joy, and yeah, they are going to take it for sure. They want to lock down something else, Miracle Gaming. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Valentina? Is it going to be the Joy? Nope, they stick with the Hayabusa instead again.
Yeah, and we can be sure that there will not be a Benedetta this game. The Hayabusa and the Brody, pretty decent choice, right? If you somehow isolate the Joy, if she dashes around, you can really damage her as a Hayabusa, and Torn Apart Memories also can deliver that damage. But ALVA 8, they stick with the Valentina because Eliora basically was the backbone of game number 2. Put him back on his comfort hero, let him do all the work. But that means that we might see another Archive third pick for ALVA 8. That has been the case, and that was what worked for them.
This is difficult now, because if you think about how power picks, oh my goodness.
Oh, there it is.
Power picks.
In the final game of the series.
Power picks, guys.
See the Martis? Let's go. Let's do it.
Martis is just, please break the 0% win rate ratio in this patch. Martis is broken. I don't know why people are just not playing it. Maybe I'm the noob or something, but I know for a fact it's just that strong. And ALVA 8, please win this game for the sake of breaking it, or you will continue the curse of having 0% win rate Martis on screen thus far for these past 3 days. I don't know. Miracle Gaming making a smart choice. They first phase pick the Franco, knowing for a fact that they need to prioritize on what is comfortable for Miracle Gaming. And why? Franco is a great way to deal with both the Joy as well as Valentina. Not necessarily the Martis, but it does prove to be a hindrance as long as the Bloody Hunt comes in from the Franco. Meanwhile, I think when it comes to a Wombo combo strategy team fight, if you're talking about marksman department-wise, carry just completely ignored, which is weird for me time and time again. No P-Trick so far, and ALVA 8 is in this situation where do they pick either or those heroes, or do they just want to stick with the 1-1, which in this case hasn't been banned at all?
Oh yeah, 1-1 completely left open, right? Miracle Gaming is definitely not going to go for the 1-1 at all, since they already have that Brody. ALVA 8, they're spoiled for choices at this point. I do think that, you know, 1-1 is not necessarily the worst choice, but Miracle Gaming somehow found a way to shut that 1-1 down in game 1. Maybe we're looking at Melissa, which for some reason is just more popular than your Beatrix and Carry thus far in this tournament. Which is weird.
Weird.
Honestly, it's a bit weird, but interesting. We see the Esmeralda also banned out. Miracle Gaming,
Okay.
yeah, there we go. They banned out the
Fair
Melissa. Now they will open up that Carry Beatrix 1-1.
Yeah, that's something I think they have to consider. ALVA 8, however, final ban here, they have to get rid of the XP laners. What's a terrible XP laner against the Joy? It's something that possibly maybe the Lapu Lapu or maybe even the Yuzhong, which is something that Miracle Gaming, they do have the options to go for, but they take out for Aramis.
Okay.
Okay. Not exactly sure what's going through their minds, but considering that ALVA 8 doesn't have a lot of AoE control to chunk through the TAM HP, I guess it's understandable, but Miracle Gaming, they finally bring in the signature. That is gonna be the Prime Hashi Dirov coming in.
Yeah, the Prince of Darkness, Dirov. Just a fun tidbit. You know, Dirov was born a human. He was kidnapped and then he turned into Dirov.
That doesn't look like a human at all.
Or he was a human, and then he got kidnapped by Alice, and he turned into the demon, and then he reinvaded the nation he was born. It was quite a journey, you know.
That
Dirov,
sounds like a really pretty dark story.
It is. He was kidnapped at the age of 1.
That's even worse. That does not help at all.
Well, his kidnapper is picked. We see the Alice getting picked up by Miracle Gaming. Comes all full circle, you know. You need Alice and Dirov on the same team, but ALVA 8, they pick the Ruby and Beatrix for themselves. Stage is set for the final game of this elimination series.
Speaking of kidnap, we do have the Ruby being picked up from ALVA 8 as well. That's going to be another kidnap happening. So we are going to be having a kidnapping series for this final matchup to decide who is going to be the better kidnapper, which oftentimes not necessarily a good thing, but on all fun and games, this is going to be the match to watch. This is going to be the decider. One of this team will be eliminated, and now with the Alice being brought out of the table, we are going to be potentially seeing something interesting, and I want to see how it all goes down because this is a mid-lane Alice.
Yeah, we've seen, I believe, Jungle Alice yesterday. That one worked out for some,
apparent reason.
Yeah, it worked out great. But game number 3 between Miracle Gaming and ALVA 8, it is back to a best of 1. Loser goes home, winner stays alive in the lower bracket. And Miracle Gaming throwing an absolute curveball. They show us a signature pick and then they show us the Alice. Let's see if this one is going to work out. I will say that throughout the series so far, jungle-wise, it has been in favor of Zion. He's been winning those buff steals, he's been winning those objective contests. But Zul'Garian back on the Hayabusa, it should feel a lot more comfortable having those, mobility and all. This is the last statistics from the mid laner. Obviously, Shiro dealing more damage, but Eliora just doing a bit more utility-wise in the game.
Yeah, in terms of kill participation as well, he's always in the fight, which makes a lot of sense, right? As a Valentina, you need to get up close and personal, whereas a Xavier is going to be all the way to the back lines. But here's a little bit of a snippet for you guys as well, because I think when considering that Valentina does have a pretty decent amount of spell vamp on his toolkit, while getting a Alice ultimate kind of amplifies the idea of what Valentina is supposed to do in team fights. So this is going to be a rather tanky Valentina into the later stage game with the right item progression. However, Zion is going to be invading a little bit more with this jungle. Miracle Gaming, however, is going to be in a very awkward position where they are going to be pressuring and make sure that Prime Hashi doesn't get contested compared to his predecessor's match. In this case, against Evil Gaming, he was completely shut down. So Miracle Gaming, they're going to try and pick a fight against Joy. They go in for the vengeance as well. The OK Shadow Kill barely taking him down. So that's going to be Jirachi surviving the onslaught.
Yeah, very, very important that Jirachi stays alive because you don't... We've seen that before. If Prime Hashi gets going, it's going to get really bad. Vince Smoke rooted down, but not enough damage. Alice not really the one that has burst to kill a Ruby. It's going to take a long time for her to start building up the stacks. Zion mid-side is level 4, has to decimate. And Prime Hashi, gotta be careful, don't want to get caught out. Zul'Garian will kind of poke them a little bit. Starting off the turtle, the entire team of Miracle Gaming is around. Another Miracle Gaming, but doesn't have the bloody hunt. And now Shiro in the midst of things, forcing Zion back.
Yeah, Zion has no choice but to recall, but at the same time, he does have the neutral objectives to help him. But the rest of the team of ALVA 8 is pretty much all gathered here to force the fight, knowing that Dirov Prime Hashi is pretty low to re-engage his fight. So Miracle Gaming has no choice but to concede this engagement. But another who comes in, Vinsmo does have to sustain to pull through. So it's going to be a turtle in favor of ALVA 8 once again. 3 times in a row, ALVA 8 has pretty much win on their turtle objectives, while Miracle Gaming just doesn't mind losing it rather early.
Miracle Gaming has gotten pretty good hooks so far, but just no bloody hunt, no lockdown. So this is a good situation for Alpha 8. Obviously, the Franco is looking for any sort of catch. Aaron Shiki looking very juicy. Will this hook come true though? Oh, with the minimum showing up and back up from Alpha 8 around the corner. This is not going to work out. They need Zukarian to be there. He's going to get invaded, so this will give some info to Miracle Gaming.
Yeah, comes for the hook as well. Doesn't seem to connect. Alpha 8 very aware of what his capabilities are. Because of this, they do not want to take the risk. Vinsmoke will be able to back out for now as Miracle Gaming now in a situation where they need to rely on those hooks to set up for a fight. But do they have the burst to do so? Because as of yet, as soon as I say this, they get a good catch. But Zion is going to be able to beat out of this ball. They get the pin. It's got to be the wombo combo. And that's going to be Beatrix getting a double kill here and there. But the double goes to Zion. Does he get the triple? But it's going to be 3 kills in favor of ALVA with that, I would say, a crazy play coming from Miracle Gaming MY. I'm not exactly sure what was going through their mind for that play.
Yeah, very audacious. Of all the targets, you try to go for a Martis. You know there's no way you get to lock the Martis down with that crowd control immunity. And of course, Bismarck was around the corner. You get the Decimate reset, and Soul Satoru just does not have damage early on. You cannot kill anyone. 3 quick kills, 2 for Martis, 1 for Beatrix, and now they caught another target. It's Miracle Gaming again. This guy just respawned, doesn't get a break. 2-0 for Aaron Shiki. Way better game in this game.
Yep, Elora just stealing the buff all the way through. Now Zion getting a little bit contested with his Martis. He's going to be A-okay. Surviving his lot, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. They're calling Jirachi to help him out, but this is only a Joy. There's only so much he can do. He's got the sustain, he's got the vengeance, but where's the rest of the team? Finally, Elora shows up. He finally saves the day, gets a kill, bullies out Prime Hashi, and Alpha 8 was able to salvage the situation with that green play coming from Zion.
I mean, he is very, very unlucky that the vengeance, right, the damage reduction, and unfortunately for the D-Rock, just couldn't do enough damage. Hero now getting caught, completely eliminated. Second turtle up, Alpha 8 looking in prime position to get this objective for themselves. Miracle Gaming 4-1 won't be able to do anything to contest this one. Zukarian not even gonna bother getting a steal attempt. Needs his XP, needs his levels. Alpha 8 in basically the driver's seat. Miracle Gaming under level, he needs to get hooks. But I mean, even if he finds the hook, there's not enough damage at this point.
Yeah, and seeing how this fight is actually going as well, this is going to be a little bit of a tough spot coming in from Miracle Gaming MY, considering that they do have the Franco hook available, but at the same time, in the right hands for Valentina, that it doesn't necessarily happen because Valentina is doing a little bit more. Meanwhile, Zukarian is going to try to engage this fight. Aaron Shiki now going to be dropped down pretty low, but the Torn Apart Memories will not be enough to take him out. Doesn't have enough stacks. So fortunately for Aaron Shiki this time, he's not having the worst time compared to game number 2.
And Miracle Gaming just constantly getting pressure, and Zion goes back on the invade the jungle again. Zukarian just so under level. He's gonna try and at least get something back. I mean, Prime actually, what were you expecting out of that? Zion just executes it.
Yeah, this is tough. This is really, really weird, considering that, well, Smoke now gonna be looking for an attempt. So Satoru trying to build up some stack. He's got a little bit more damage, but Conceal Play comes in, but it doesn't seem to connect. But the hook comes in. He catches the right target. It was a bait coming in from Miracle Gaming. They shift their focus on towards the Joy, but guess what? It's not him they're looking for. It is going to be the Marksman. However, Zion now completely bullying that Hayabusa out of lane, and this is why Martis is just that much stronger.
And he just got the Garden Helmet as well. 4-1 on that KD, 2 levels ahead of Zukarian. Zukarian was able to kill Jirachi, but he spent everything in that fight. And Zion was just waiting for a free pickup. Miracle Gaming put on the back foot again. They need time, they need pickoffs, they need XP. Miracle Gaming now has a lot on his hands, but he is gonna get caught up by Windsmoke again. He's trying to tank out as much damage as possible, but with Zion showing up, it is just not possible. Prime actually in the back again. The stolen bloody hunt. Not enough though. Leora does trade his life in return. Jirachi is going to do some damage and disruption, but that OG Shadow Kill, not enough. He gets pulled back as it ends. The timing is so good from this Ruby. Alpha 8 gets 2 kills.
That is insane, but now the snipes coming in from Aaron Shiki even slowed down Shiro's recall. He's gonna back out. And so Sotaro is going to farm a couple creep waves here and there, but Miracle Gaming now losing out a little bit more. ALVA 8, however, finds a way to slow down the Hayabusa, and that's exactly what they needed. But Hook comes in, they do get the catch, and that's going to be the burst down coming in. Zion somehow survives it, and he doesn't even die, and they turn around with Aaron Shiki and Miracle Gaming with that green. They lose two, losing turtle control as well. However, Zukarian is looking for the steal. ALVA 8, they know what's up. He's going to stall him out, and they do not get the steal. Beautiful defense coming from ALVA 8.
Miracle Gaming getting a bit desperate with those plays. Yeah, they want to look for pickoffs, and ALVA 8 this time are prepared. Unlike game number 1, they are ready for any sort of fights. Zukarian forced to use that ultimate. Oh, Shadow Kill, Shadow away, and a flicker hook. Eliora dragged under the tier 1, kidnapped by this Franco. Maybe this is a chance for Miracle Gaming. Jirachi drawing the attention of Miracle Gaming away. ALVA 8 actually getting out. No, the torn apart memories. Very long range, getting that execute. Miracle Gaming stabilizing the fight.
Oh, that was a pretty sick hook. But now another hook comes in. What the heck am I watching? This is a game of kidnaps, ladies and gentlemen. And Miracle Gaming somehow finds a way to dissect them bit by bit. And now they finally equalize the economy, and they will get a little bit more map control. What a catch. Not once, but twice from Miracle Gaming.
If you want to do a job, well, you gotta do it yourself. Miracle Gaming basically doing exactly that. And on top of that, Aaron Shiki just got solo killed by Zukarian. That was the recovery this Hayabusa was looking for. Still under level, but if he can get these kind of solo kills, ALVA 8, it means that he is still a big threat. ALVA 8 gotta be really careful in these situations. Those cross-map plays are very prevalent for Miracle Gaming.
This is insane. Shiro now just got his Radiant Armor. That's going to slow down the Joy's damage as well as the Valentina. But the biggest threat here is not going to be them, because Aaron Shiki is dishing out a lot, because as of yet, Zion is going to get the immunity coming from the Ashura. So Miracle Gaming not going to be able to get the dive on him once again. It's just not worth it, considering this is a very tanky Martis. But at the same time, ALVA 8, what was that integration? Because how the heck did Jirachi get out of that, which is weird?
He popped the... He even used the Vengeance.
He doesn't have the Purify, so I was like, huh?
Yeah, he even used the Vengeance. Uh-oh, can't face check like this. Thankfully, he has the Flicker. Dashes out to safety, but I gotta reset. The mid-tier 1 still alive for now. Both XP laner having to expend their battle spells to get out. But obviously, if you're Prime Hashi, you're gonna be in a tougher spot without the Flicker. Shiro though, finding Zion in the brush. There's no damage just yet. Miracle Gaming looking for someone to fish. The team now regroups around Lord.
Now, I completely lost my words, but as of now, another hook comes in. It catches on Windsmoke, but it's not the right target you want to go for. Jirachi making quick work with the Joy. The ult coming in from VPix is not going to do anything. So Miracle Gaming, they will have a little bit more room to punish this. And do they want to force a fight? Zukarian waiting for the right bush. He wants to cut the back lines, but it seems like it's not go time yet. Miracle Gaming not having to find any opportunities yet. Zion will be getting a little bit too overzealous with this play. Finally shows himself. Here comes Ivo Fender, connects on 2. Immediately shish kebab. They got all. Now the suppress comes in from the Valentina, keeping Shiro in track. They lose 3, and even the Brody might fall. Zukarian doing his damage. Okay, Shadow Kill, but they lose. That's gonna be a Maniac. Can he get the Savage? And yes, they do get the Savage for ALVA 8. What a comeback. They completely destroy all of them. The first Savage up on screen, secured by Aaron Shiki from ALVA 8 all the way from Indonesia.
This is what we call redemption arc for the marksman of ALVA 8. Had a miserable game 1, had a atrocious game 2, and now shows up as the Beatrix, gets a Savage right before the Lord fight, but it all started with Windsmoke in this replay, coupling up with the crowd control from Zion, completely locking down Miracle Gaming, and Eliora even stole that one kill out of all of that. And Aaron Shiki, he knows that this game is in the bag, flickers forward, gets that Savage, and now ALVA 8 in the driver's seat. Jirachi keeping Shiro occupied as the rest of ALVA 8, they're showing up top. Windsmoke, he does dash forward. Miracle Gaming can't get a hook. Shiro making it out. The going one not enough to kill him off. Windsmoke now gets locked down, executed by Prime Hashi, but Aaron Shiki gets that shut down.
Oh my goodness, Aaron Shiki is just doing so much AoE damage. Now the suppress comes in. It's not going to do him good by Miracle Gaming. And why? As ALVA 8 fight him off. The Lord's going to be pushing from the bottom side as well, while Miracle Gaming Meanwhile, they've got to throw bodies for this. They've lost 2, ALVA 8, 5-man healthy. They've got the glowing one up on Elora. Meanwhile, look at this. Zion is looking for those pick stragglers along the sides. It's all about the kidnaps. In this case, he might find Sosotaru. He might die to this, but no. Instead, he will pay with his life. Monopower Memories comes in. Shiro tries to re-engage, but he's taking a little bit too much damage as Aaron Shiki is going to completely destroy him. Godlike for this B-Trick, and he's going to chip more. That's going to be a double for him. But the OK Shadow Kill doesn't bounce on him, but Zukerbi needs to make a run for it. He's going to be caught out, but does he have the damage? He does! He gets a triple kill. The Bloody Hunt comes in, but can he survive? Does he have the hard score? Aaron Shiki's still hanging on, and no, he survives. He's going to kill him all, and that's going to be a maniac again from Aaron Shiki with 1 HP clutch. And just like that, Miracle Gaming, they get completely wiped off, and ALVA 8 is gonna lose the game. Is gonna come up on top with a reverse sweep 2-0. This is a repeat in history, and that's gonna be Miracle Gaming eliminated with ALVA 8 prevailing.
What better way to end the series by getting a Savage and a Maniac right after that? ALVA 8 shutting down this entire series at the final moments. The spotlight. Point out this member, the one that we saw in the head-to-head early on, Eliora. On that Valentina, just sublime performance. Carried the game in Game 2 and Game 3. They almost lost Aaron Shiki, but this Valentina shows up, stolen Bloody Hunt, locks down Satoru, and wins the game for his team. I mean, I'm speechless. ALVA 8, what else could you have asked for?
Well, that's why Beatrix is so strong. Early present, only level 5 to jump onto his Martyrs. But that's the thing about Martyrs, right? It's so disruptive and so annoying. It takes a little bit too long to actually finish Bob. And even here as well, it takes them almost forever to kill both the Joy as well as the Martyrs. As soon as that happens, like I said as well, Allura is given enough space and time to capitalize on all this situation. And even in this final fight as well, it seems like an opportunity for Miracle Gaming to try and force a fight. But as soon as they thought that there was no ultimate coming from Beatrix, at this stage game, Aaron Shiki was so far ahead to a point that he's able to get auto attacks after auto attacks to just completely take down every single member coming from Miracle Gaming.
And Miracle Gaming, you can really feel the desperation. This is the point of no return from the side of ALVA 8. Aaron Shiki popping off with the Savage. And of course, in the stolen Bloody Hunt, Eliora making sure that Aaron Shiki is completely untouched. Gets the Flicker, gets the Savage. And right after that, at the Lord fight, Aaron Shiki pops up again with, there it is.
This one's so close.
There it is, the stolen Bloody Hunt from Eliora. I mean, you couldn't have asked for more from this Valentina.
Yeah, Elora actually slowing down Satoru, buying enough time for Aaron Shiki to come online and get that Maniac was a pretty big clutch as well, because if they died early, this game would have dragged out a little bit longer. But fortunately for them, ALVA 8, they bounce back. Repeat of history for Miracle Gaming MY, but at the same time, it's not over for them. We would like to see them more again in the future for the Challenge Series, which is going to be happening sometime next week and the following week. But as of yet, ALVA 8, well done.
Yeah, well done. This is one of the best ways to close out a series after, after getting outmaneuvered for majority of the games that they've been playing. But Miracle Gaming can't beat themselves up. This is just ALVA 8 a cut above in deciding game. They still walk away with $500 from this open finals, and now they get to prep for the challenge stage, which will be happening, like you said, in the near future. For ALVA 8 though, the journey continues in that lower bracket run. But they definitely not the cleanest series. They have a lot to talk about, but now they can at least rest happily with this victory. Check out the MVP, Aaron Shiki, towards the very end. Not the flashiest series for him, but man, he did redeem himself in Game 3.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Savage as well as the Maniac far for the Snapdragon Pro Series, and it is all the way from Indonesia. We have Aaron Shiki up on screen with KD at 3.7, KO to participation of 16.4%, GPM 723 and DPM 3525. Pretty solid marksman performance coming from him, even though he had one of the roughest time on the small score. But in the end of the day, he still pulled his weight.
Yeah.
He lost so much Game 2, somehow manages just to find a way to help the team bounce back for Game 2, make an epic comeback against Miracle Gaming, and now in this final game, pulling a Savage and Maniac just shows you that sometimes we have our bad days.
Yeah.
But most importantly, you can't win them all. It's all about adapting. It's all about improving and playing for the bigger picture. In this case, they've caught the full series.
Yeah. just great recovery. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And again, special mention, Hienan MVP, Eliora. Cannot talk about it enough. But you know, we will have more chance to talk about this guy when they continue that lower bracket run. Now we wave goodbye to Miracle Gaming. But again, it's not the end for this team. We'll see them in challenge stage, all made possible by our friends at Monster Energy, unleashing the beast within Arashiki for the Savage. Definitely bleeding green with this one, so check them out, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. But the night is not done just yet. We still have one more elimination series coming up, another best of 3 and another team to wave goodbye to.
Exactly. So today's games has been super exciting. I don't know about you guys. If you guys are at home and watching some good old Mobile Legends bang, this is a good time to tell your friends, because every single game that has been on screen so far has been top notch. I wouldn't say global tier, but definitely at least up to Southeast Asia tier, because these are really good games that you do not see on MPL stages.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the next season, but to my standard, it's up to my taste.
Yeah, that's good enough. That is all we want. Happy with it. But you know, we have so much more coming up, and I just cannot overstate the fact that I agree with what you said so far. These past 2 days, including the series just now, has been sublime. If you tell me this is a pro league, I would absolutely, you know, believe you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna, you know, have some time, take a bit of a breather as we get ready for the upcoming series. This time it's gonna be Aero 4 against Tiger Wong Esports. We're gonna see you after this. One more best of 3 to see who stays alive in this tournament.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
I feel eyes all over me, watching how I set the scene. Oh baby, step into the rhythm for a minute, let your body shimmer, turn it up and feel the heat. Let your body talk, baby, feel the bass. I like the way you walk, come on, walk my way. Oh baby, step into the rhythm for a minute, let your body shimmer, turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. Turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. Turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel eyes all over me, watching how I set the scene. Oh baby, step into the rhythm for a minute, let your body shimmer, turn it up and feel the heat. Let your body talk, baby, feel the bass. I like the way you walk, come on, walk my way. Oh baby, step into the rhythm for a minute, let your body shimmer, turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. Turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. Turn it up and feel the heat. I feel the heat.
Woo! You already know what time it is, right? It's your boy Eclipse Darkness. I do this for my people. How I like that. I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. I done seen it all. Came up from the gutter, baby, now I'm here to ball. I've been talking, yeah, my ish, so now they wanna call. They got my line tap, oh yeah, they tryna take it off. Oh no, here we go again. Pull me over, let me guess, it's cause my melanin. Asking questions, me and you both know irrelevant. But I stay cool and collected cause I'm heaven sent. They hate it, I love it, they know that there's no one above it except for God. Instead of be coming with negative energy, I gotta move and die. Give me that back, can't touch my ground, I'm a king and yeah, you know that. Talk about giving it back, I'ma come and take that. Yeah, I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. Yeah, they know I be about it. I don't do a lot of talking, come and see about it. They gon' try to keep it from you so you don't know about it. I'm a young pharaoh, pick it up and read about it. Here's your opportunity. Telling stories, yeah, to make sure they remember me. Can't hold me down, cause I leave behind a legacy. And don't believe them when they say they who they claim to be. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Bang Bang Open Finals for Season 1. My name is Husky, alongside IC Baby 1-2. We are prepping for our second and final elimination series of the day, Arrow 4-4, taking on Tiger Wong Esports. It's going to be an interesting one because you just told me that GameLab actually did lose a game to one of these teams.
Yeah, Tiger Wong, during the brackets, so this is going to be our first time seeing on the screen as well. Based on the bracket, they were able to take a 1 game off screen against GameLab, who's currently sitting in the top side for the upper bracket seedings. Whereas Arrow 4-4, they had a pretty strong showing, but we haven't. Before we talk about my prediction here, let's talk about the brackets here in case you're just tuning in. And this is pretty much up on screen as well. And on the top side, you can see GameLab was able to take a clean 2-0 on the top side, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean 2-0 on and Arrow 4-4, you know, they have been playing their lower bracket run thus far, you know, they 2-1 Goodfellas, and right now they are waiting to take on Tiger Wong Esports, and this was a team that, you know, had that Johnson dog tag work against Tiger Wong Esports. Just now, ALVA 8 able to get the reverse sweep over Miracle Gaming, 2-1, and even closing things out with a savage streak for Arashiki. So they will now go up against Sway Esports in the near future. Now our eyes turn to Arrow 4-4 against.
Yeah, I really want to see how things go down between their gameplay as well, because this is going to be our first time seeing how they match up in this entirety of the match. But as of yet, what I do know is that this has been a very, very long journey for some of this team. This is an opportunity presented from every single team across the region to be playing against the best of the best from, I would say, arguably from all regions on every single level, to kind of identify where they kind of stand and their placements as well. So I kind of want to see how things progress further, because earlier today's series and so far these past 3 days on screen has been a phenomenal run from every single team. Everyone has showed signs of fighting really, really hard for that prize pool, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourself, because I certainly know that I definitely am.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we've seen some great comebacks. We had 3 full series thus far. Even the 2-0s don't look one-sided, right? There's a lot of fighting spirits these teams like you mentioned, and at the same time, this is one of the most competitive region in Southeast Asia. We have world champions here, you know, with Philippines and all of that. So it's definitely going to be very, very exciting. Let's take a look at the roster of Era 404 to kick things off. We've seen them yesterday, but in case you don't remember who they are, these are the players: Natsu, Lord Ricky, Cloven, Force Secret, Yamikaze. Keep your eyes out on Force Secret.
Well, this is something that I'm looking forward to see how it goes down as well. On top of it all, Lord Ricky has been really on point on his jungle rotation as well. He was one of the few that actually brought in the Martis, and it didn't exactly work out as well, which is unfortunate to see. But finally, we have one win for the Martis pickup. So hopefully RF4 is going to be able to bounce back. This is going to be their last series for this weekend. And this is going to be something I'm looking forward to as well, because Lord Ricky has been very, very on point with his jungle rotations. He's prioritized a lot on playing around the early aggression of Turtle Lord pre-contest, especially in the first engagement in particular. Tiger Wong, however, up on screen for the first time, is going to be up on screen.
Yeah, and you have all these 5 men. You have Brexley, you have Nagi Seishiro, you have Rins, Saffro, and Dadi Dureido. There it is. It's the it sounds like the child rhythm. Yeah,
no, do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Close enough. It's gonna be a mouthful, but we'll get through it. But this is the first time that we see them on screen, so it's going to be very, very interesting because, you know, prior to this bracket, they did take one game off of GameLab, which was a team that showed incredible yesterday's series. And let's see if that time thing or Tiger Wong Esports have something that that Aero 404 might not be able to handle. Let's take a look at the head-to-head. Once more, our eyes are set on that mid lane.
Now let's talk about the middle lane stats coming from both sides here. Cloven going to be on the mid lane right now alongside with his Rins. KDA-wise here, a huge margin coming from Rins with 13.4 KDA. Kill participation 41%. GPM a little bit low on that department, but a little bit more favoring towards Cloven. But this pretty much shows a little bit of a disparity in the stats, right? Like, if you think about how Cloven has a higher kill participation, higher GPN, just shows you that the games that they've played so far overall in all the games for Aero 404 has been really, really prolonged, whereas from Tiger Wong, most of the games they've played are pretty quick-ended. So it's pretty one-sided to a certain degree, but it just shows you that they're either that good or they haven't faced an opponent at their level.
And we'll find out in a bit, but I want to hear your predictions in the Twitch chat down below. Let us know which team you think is going to survive this one and have a longer lower bracket shelf life, and which team is going to get eliminated. So far, I have gone 0-5 in my prediction, and I am convinced at this point I might as well continue the trend, because I want to look at our predictions. Whatever I predict, just be ready that this team might not make it out. So I'm going with Aero 404. That was the team that did show us a pretty interesting series when they played the lower bracket. And of course, you are not the same. No, you have Tiger Wong Esports. I've accepted my cursed reputation.
It's not over yet. Alright, okay, you know, I was about to predict Aero 404. I was about to predict Tiger Wong. Producers were asking me, hey, what do you want to predict? Initially, given some thought, you know what, I just Tiger Wong for the sake of it. You know, just because we've seen Aero 404 play on screen, I kind of liked how Clover was playing. I kind of liked how Lord Ricky was playing. That's why I kind of went. I want to let you win, so I went for Tiger Wong. I mean, guess what? Tiger Wong's got pretty good stats.
You tried to do that last series and
I didn't expect that to win as well.
Me neither. Me neither. Maybe second time's a charm. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see when we go into the draft. But one thing is for sure that Aero 404, Force Secret, I think, you know, you talked about Lord Ricky in the jungle, but my eyes are actually also on Force Secret a bit more, because in that goal lane, so we'll see if he is able to do the same to Tiger Wong as well, because it's one of the more stable goal laner that doesn't really get put on the backseat like what we saw just now.
Well, we are talking about regions, right? All the way from Cambodia, we have Aero 404, and all the way from Indonesia, we have Tiger Wong. So I'm just gonna leave it at there. I'm gonna let it sit. I might be wrong in terms of region, right?
You
but,
could be.
You know, I'm just gonna leave it at there. You know, so far, Indonesia has had a very, very strong showing so far.
Hasn't gone exactly to plan though. I mean, even Laos has taken series off, so yeah.
Fair enough.
It's definitely not the end, but obviously Indonesia is the second best region in the world. There's a lot of untapped talent, but only the drafts can tell us a more compelling tale. So far, we have seen a shift of the ban, more focus on the Fanny, more focus on the Kaja. We've seen a lot of Farmist bans coming out as well. I'm a bit surprised that teams still consider that perhaps an Ube strategy is a possibility for their opponents.
Well, it's very, very possible because if you think about it, Blacklist played it all the way to the Grand Finals and got countered by Echo. Technically, well, it's not really a counter if you're playing the same region. Everybody's seen it time and time again. Eventually, somebody's got to figure out how to counter it. But other regions, we haven't seen a lot of it as well. We've tried to replicate here and there, but nobody has been close to Blacklist International.
Nope.
But at the same time, let's take a look at the match as well because we're jumping straight in towards Game 1 in this final series for today. It's going to be Arrow 4-4 on the blue side and Tiger Wong Esports on the red side.
Yeah, we've seen the common bans, Fanny, Glue, Joy, Kaja. Sometimes we see the Edith getting taken out, but I think in this particular series, Edith is not going to be a priority. I think they don't really go for the Edith. It's more of a team-specific pick.
It was a Johnson Kadita.
It was a Johnson Kadita.
That's the...
Honestly, I think when we look at Arrow 404, Brody could be a very important pick for them. Force Secret has been very favoring this hero, and he has pretty good numbers on it. But they started with a Diggy ban. Okay, we're in for a treat.
Huh. First phase pick Diggy implies they do want to play around a composition that has a lot of wombo combos. So I feel like Atlas immediately pops in my mind, being one of the top-rate, underrated S-tier tanks, but easily countered by two things, which is 1, Diggy, 2, Purify. So banning this allows our Arrow 404 to potentially set up for a potential Atlas pickup, but at the same time, Tiger Wong Esports needs to draft heroes that capitalize really well on Purifies, such as Valentina, such as Lilia to a certain degree, but forcing them to put heroes like that will force them to play a little more unconventional towards the usual meta hero pickups. Yet, 4 has a little bit more insights. For now, once we safe ban, 30 seconds set up their chess pieces for now. Safe ban, 30 seconds left, Glue still available, Joy still available, Fanny as well. Arrow 4-4 taking their own sweet time on how they want to set up their chess pieces for now.
I think with how we've seen Frederick's performance, I feel like he has more losses than wins on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think teams will start pivoting away from having Frederick as a priority and moving him a bit down on that list?
No way!
That Edith, okay. I honestly didn't expect Edith to still be a priority, but I think this is starting to really show us what you've been predicting earlier on, right? We're looking at those big combos. If you want someone that can capitalize on Purify, or maybe the Martyrs could be a good choice now. You have that crowd control immunity for Tiger Wong.
I think the Martyrs isn't that bad of an option. But for now, we're down to the final 3 bans, right? Tiger Wong needs to be very, very smart on what they want to let through the first phase pick. Is it okay to deal with 1-1? Absolutely not. But some teams have adapted to deal with 1-1, right? There's Phobias, there's Kufra to a certain degree, there is Lolita Shields as well. In this case, Tiger Wong, they ban off the Joy, safe bet, Glue still available, to Arrow 4-4. Do they want to first pick it? Or do they want to pick the Fanny? Because as of yet, Kufra is still pretty much in the pool, right? But the moment Arrow 4-4 decides to ban the Kufra right here and there, immediately calls for an immediate ban for Fanny. But by doing so, it kind of allows 3 S-tier picks come and slide through. That's going to be the Glue, that's going to be the Yi potentially, and also the Valentina. So I think that's something that they don't want to take a risk, considering that we don't really have a lot of information of what Tiger Wong is comfortable with. Yeah. But like I said, it's a best of 3 series, you can adapt. Yeah,
I feel like if they ban the Fredrin. I was about to say that if you let the E Valentina 2, there's kind of that decent trade, right? Like it's a 50-50, you take one, we take the other, but the fact that they ban out the Fredrin kind of pivots them away a little bit. They don't want to deal with it. Though I don't think that Fredrin is as monstrous as we initially implied he was.
I think it's more on the flexibility side of X,
right?
Rather than whether it's really strong or not. Like you pick it just for the sake that sometimes you can flex in jungle, sometimes you can flex in XP based on the situation or based on the draft. So in that case, it makes a lot of sense why Fredrin is stronger in that department. But when it comes to drafting as well, now when it comes to comfort, Tiger Wong has about 5 seconds to decide. Do they ban the Fanny or do they let it slide? Allow the Glue go through and then just pick something else. They don't want to take the Fanny, let them pick the glue. They can pick the Faramis in their favor, or maybe even a Xavier to a degree, which I don't really like it. But the split minions kind of allow the Xavier blade to actually extend if you barely touch the glues out itself, the split.
You can't get the glue, and again, the carry is let through. We've always...
Nobody wants to pick a carry.
No one wants to carry. We always
Weird.
mention about the carry, but no one wants to carry in any situation. I don't think it's been touched by any nerfs or buffs so far.
Nope, not yet, at least.
And no one picks it.
Okay.
Valentina goes right through. Glue left open. The Yeef is also there. We'll see if Tiger Wong wants to go for that 1-for-1 trade, right? Because Yeef is on the table.
I think this is a scenario where if you bring it back to a previous patch, right? Whichever team picks a Valentina, oftentimes they are forced to pick heroes that doesn't give the high value ultimates, right? Back then it was pretty much Paquito, Benedetta, Hayabusa, anything that you can think of that just completely runs in your face but just doesn't give high value.
There it is.
But Tiger Wong, they go for Dikacha as well as Blue. Two power picks coming from Tiger Wong Esports. And Husky, I have some very, very unfortunate... Okay, you know
Are
what?
we thinking about the same thing?
I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
I was like,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna put it inside this pocket, and I think I wrote something down here, and I'll give it to you later.
Sure. But I mean, Tiger Wong, they saw the Diggy ban, right? So they're like,
Oh
well,
my goodness.
if you guys ban the Diggy, guess what? We are going to take picks that basically just drag you all the way to the grave. There it is. Carry finally comes through for the second time in 6 series that we've casted together. And the Paquito also a choice as well. Okay, we're seeing something new. They continue the surprises, honestly.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of Paquito jungle. XP lane is still very okay, just because of the fact of how much value a Paquito gets. Like, the reason why Paquito was nerfed is because of damage output. It can't really sustain as much as possible, but against a glue, it isn't too bad. Once he goes to split form, this Paquito is going to get value XP, value damage, value sustainability is just by hitting off the split, but at the same time, it allows him to get jabbed. So if it gets jabbed on and latched on, he can actually easily displace a glue from being pulled back just because of his mobility. But that can be situational, it can be debatable, but Tiger Wong, they go in for the far side. That's going to be a traditional Divine Judgment into the Feather Dash Strike, which gives a lot of damage in terms of power spike.
This is most likely a Purify angle for Seeker, right? I think the carry now is looking at a more defensive battle spell. The Flick is not going to cut it in most situations, but we'll see if Arrow 4-4 has a pick in the second phase to remedy it. Tiger Wong Esports now looking at those front lines. No Lolita, very, very straightforward. But if Arrow 4-4 is not running a Paquito jungle, which is still a possibility, then maybe that Archive suddenly becomes not too bad of a choice.
This is crazy considering that how all these are progressing so far. I like the Lolita ban right here because it sets themselves apart to play a very, very strong marksman, right? In terms of strong marksman, there are a lot that then benefits from this kind of rage, and the Bulwarks kind of mitigate a lot of these heroes, such as Leslie, such as Beatrix, such as the Clint to a certain degree. So I understand that they want to weigh their options, but I like that they actually opt to ban off the Atlas, which is something that can actually completely mess up the entire composition of Tiger Wong with the wrong move. And these are heroes that don't necessarily benefit by getting Purify as their battle spell. So not taking a risk is the smart call. Brody also one of the 2 major marksmen that actually benefits with Lolita taken out of the equation. So denying it is great. Forcing Tiger Wong to play maybe Irritel, maybe Clint, maybe even a Melissa is okay. I don't think going for Aldous is advisable, but we have seen teams kind of play a full-fledged fighter all the way through, but no, they go in for Clint. Okay, I can respect that. Clint versus Carry, pretty decent matchup.
Yeah. Another question is, how
games of true damage.
How does Arrow 4-4 get on top of the Clint? That would be something that they need to figure out right now. Again, right? Jungle potentially still open. They still need a roamer for themselves. There are a couple of options, but when you have a Kaja on the enemy team, it's always that fear that you're gonna get dragged back and you will just disappear. There's so much output from Tiger Wong Esports. I don't know, I feel like when you look at the jungles, I think you mentioned this yesterday, right? There has to be a tank jungler to facilitate these kind of drafts. Martis is still on the table, but I don't know if that would be the better choice. Well, the Minotaur shows up. We haven't seen this for a long, long time.
Yo, I haven't seen this since what, MPL Malaysia Grand Finals. I haven't seen it since after the patch where every single region from Philippines, from Indo was trying out Minotaur jungle. Now we're seeing it back again. Like people kind of like tried it out. It was a hit or miss, and then went to M series. Nobody picked it, and now we're back again. So
How does this work? I mean, guide me through this.
full sustain. We've got Matilda. We've got I think the idea here from Arrow 404 is to set up with Circling Eagle to pull in for the Minion's Rage to go in for a wombo combo. I like the idea, but extremely difficult to pull off.
They are trying to show us those high mechanical execution, but
It's flashy. I love it.
It's flashy. If they pull it off, this is going to be the highlight reel. It is going to be one for the books. But Tiger Wong, they themselves bring in the link, making it even harder for Arrow 404 to do much. Again, all eyes on for Secret. And is this
Husky, do you need a tissue?
Wait, is this a Jungle Paquito?
I think it's either Jungle Paquito or Jungle Minotaur. I've seen Jungle Minotaur before, but the problem is
XP lane Minotaur. That is the question.
no, I don't think so. Most likely it's gonna be a Jungle Minotaur.
there it
We've
is,
seen
yeah.
it based on the previous region as well. But Tiger Wong Esports, they have a link. Right now, in terms of mobility-wise, Tiger Wong Esports got covered on every single aspect.
How do
I
you
don't
catch
know how Arrow 404 is gonna keep up, but it all comes down to Paquito as well. Are we gonna see a dominant gold lane, or are we going to see a very split-off fight? But as of yet, you guys are sticking around for the final series of the lower brackets here. One of these teams will be eliminated, and this is going to be match number 1. Arrow 404 on the blue side and Tiger Wong on the red side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn. You've seen it, you know it. We're going to jump straight into game.
Well,
Yes,
it's an interesting
it is
opening.
a jungle Minotaur.
It is a Jungle Minotaur.
Great.
It is great. Just every team with their own creativity. I'm loving what we're seeing right now. But obviously, if they can pull it off, I don't care if this game goes, if this is a win for Arrow 404. It's just whether they can pull off the spectacle that they've set up for themselves.
Would you like to show me what I've written on my paper?
I think it's Diggy gets banned, let's pick Kaja.
Okay, fair enough. But as of yet, we do see a little bit of harassment coming in. Tiger Wong playing a little bit aggressive now. Dadidi do is gonna go for a little bit of harassment on the sides here. But in terms of sustainability, Arrow 404 has got a pretty decent amount of sustain with the Minotaur's heals as well as the Matilda. Late game wise, it's gonna be a huge problem for Tiger Wong Esports because the only sustains they have is pretty much from the Kaja as well as the blue, which not necessarily are as strong as back in the days, like how Esmeralda is. At one point, Kaja was, but once it got nerfed, it wasn't that bad. But first blood comes into play. That's going to be Tiger Wong Esports with the first blood down bottom, shutting down this Paquito.
And that is kind of the start, right? It's already pretty hard to do with the glue, and now Rexy gets that kill. With a solo kill onto Natsu, gets an item advantage, comes back with the tough boots, extra health, level advantage as well. Natsu didn't even get to use the flicker. One thing that worries is also you are looking at two different junglers, right? We are the Ling, a lot of mobility, but contrast to that, Minotaur is just that's the one thing he doesn't have.
Yeah, it's tough, considering that you want to kind of see a flicker into his Minotaur's Rage, but at the same time, the way Arrow 404 can play this is to try and bait this out. Lord Ricky does have the sustainability to do so, but as long as Tiger 1 doesn't take the bait and go for the fight, which obviously they can because they have a glue as well as Divine Judgment. Look at this, they isolate the fight, they prolong the fight, it doesn't allow the Minotaur's Rage, not even allowed to secure the Lord. That's going to be the turtle secured by Tiger 1 just like that, completely sliced and diced, and Arrow 404 had to back out. Lord Ricky no position to contest it at all.
If only Arrow 404 could get in that fight. Minasu, he did everything. He disrupted the backline. He actually did decent damage, but his team could not do anything. Glue sticking onto the Lord Ricky, and then you have the Kaja around as well. And the Kaja showing up top, instantly deny access. And this is a free lane for Saffro. If you are this Clint, you are very happy in how this lane is going.
Yeah, this is crazy coming from Tiger Wong, considering that they understand their key objective, right? The idea here is to zone off the jungler, and they did exactly that. They timed the Divine Judgment and to time the split from Rexley to actually prolong that fight. Kind of stopped Lord Ricky to do anything he was, and he just got his magic defense shoes, which kind of reduces getting a little bit more resilience is going to help him get out of those awkward situations. But speaking of awkward, here comes the gliding wing coming in. He's looking for the Minotaur's Rage. He connects on two. That's a big boy damage coming in. Defender Strike comes in. Dada somehow survives it with 1 HP from the spell vamp. And now Arrow 404, they're losing members. And here comes the link. They're gonna go for the double. He's looking for the triple as well as Gugun is going to be looking to hunt for more. Lord Ricky now going to be stealing a little bit more, but this Minotaur doesn't have damage to fight this. They are going to try and turtle fight, but Lord Ricky completely zoned out. They're calling Rex to force this fight. This is a crazy one. Is it worth it? But Lord Ricky now stranded. They do have the feather as Space Spirit comes in. Rex, they might actually die to this as well. They're calling Circle Eagle, but they do have the HP to survive it all. As Arrow 4-4 in no position to contest this.
I don't know what to tell you. Arrow 4-4 could not get anything. Cloven committed a flicker. Can't even get the Kaja. And 4-0, it might not seem much, but Tiger Wong Esports within this 4 minutes have completely controlled the game. Everyone on the side of Arrow 4-4 under level, under farm. They need some space. They will find it in the bottom lane, but look at this. It's Natsu and Cloven sticking together. This is not the ideal situation you want for both cores, not for Valentina at least. They have to concede this turtle control over the Tiger Wong.
Oh, this is crazy. What a one-sided lead. Lord Ricky struggling to clear off his minions means that Tiger Wong will always have the fast jump because of this link rotation. And just like that, they're able to lead like 4k net worth lead just 4 minutes into the game. It just kind of demonstrates why Tiger Wong has such a huge margin of stats so far. With 4-0 means they will continue with their momentum. Meanwhile, Arrow 404, they have to buy time for this carry. As long as Force Secret is alive and farming, he's going to be fine. But he's going to be in trouble. He's taking a little bit of damage. But Divine Judgment just before he almost gets died, but he doesn't even die. No, finally goes down. He takes Force Secret down with him alongside with Yamikaze. Now, Lord Ricky is running for his dear life. The Link is here to poke his way through. They're calling Cloven to save his life, but can he do anything? But
no,
Link with the Tempest Blades, immediately Gugun shifts his focus, takes the Valentina, takes the Minotaur along with him, and this is the dream Link game coming from Tiger Wong Esports.
So many things going wrong. Force Secret just stood in front of a Kaja. I mean, so he stood in front of the Kaja, gets pulled in, goes down, and then Cloven, in an attempt to save this Minotaur, which is most likely dead meat, dashes straight into Tiger Wong Esports. This was not how you're supposed to play that one, but man, Arrow 4-4 just out of their depths in this game. 6 minutes in, a 7,000 goal lead almost. They're gonna try to get some space back in the jungle, but Gugun is here. This guy is so over level. Yamikaze able to dash to safety, but for Secret he's left out to dry to drag him into his grave. Someone stop him.
Oh, the Kaja glue just completely decimating Arrow 404 as of net. 7k net will lead 6 minutes into the game. The dream game for Tiger Wong Esports. They've got the Curse Helmet up on Rex. Even the glue is going to do significant amount of damage. The Feather Airstrike completely zoning Arrow 404 off. As you can see, the Clint will start to actually chip away at the damage output from the back lines. Lord Ricky, however, needs to play a little bit slow. Seems like he is going to back out a little bit more. Well, Zafru is going to try and make one, deny economy away from Arrow 404. There's just no place to farm right now for Arrow 404.
This was a team that they're going up against Tiger Wong. Well, now we understood how that one game that they took out of GameLab came to be. Because right now, I think Arrow 404 could not do anything in this situation. Unless Force Secret gets to the late game, but oh boy, you are so out of position, my friend. Gugu just shouted the Tempest of Blades, knocked off 3 people. He's on a monster kill streak. It gets out. They lost Force Secret, they lost Cloven, and now everyone is getting gone on. That's last man alive, this Paquito. He's also no more Tiger Wong Esports. Gets a wipe out 7.5 minutes in Terrence.
I think this is over.
I think it's over too.
It's 10k net will lead, 7 minutes of the game. They're diving past tier 2. Tiger Wong was just able to force a fight in such an awkward position with this Ling and completely get a 4-man knockout, and a big Feather Airstrike just completely chunked them out. Arrow 404 just doesn't have the range to deal with Tiger Wong Esports at all. Like, they need to find a way to cut the backlines, but how can they do so? Look at how the positions coming in from Tiger Wong Esports. It's so awkward. Like, 2 walls in between the range. We have a Farsal who's just popping his Feather Airstrike from across the map. You need to force a flicker, you need to force a mobility spell just to get the backlines, and who can do it? Lord Ricky doesn't have to flicker. Matilda has only so much, and once you re-engage, there's no way you're going to be able to disengage in this fight. And this is something that Arrow 404 is just struggling, and Tiger Wong just not giving any opportunities for any pickoffs from Arrow 404. And you have to give props to his Daddy Do, because that Kaja is just on point.
Yeah, I mean, just getting all those godly pickoffs, and uh-oh, Gugun. He's scouting. This guy is 4 levels. He is level 14. I don't know what to tell you. Well, Natsu able to cancel the Fatal Airstrike and leave the whole 4 secret. No, that's not the fight you want to take, buddy. Not the fight you want to take. We had this discussion, and maybe you want to consider going for the Purify. He went for the Flicker, didn't work out. And remember, Aero 404 was the team that banned the Diggy. Well, they just set their opponents up for success.
Yeah, in this case, it's going to be tough. Even with the Diggy as well, I don't think it's going to be enough considering that the Divine Judgment goes through the time 30. So, in this case, Tiger Wong, they will continue to free Lord. Aero 404, they need to find a way to bounce back. They're 12 gates behind, and they can't even split push. And at this stage of the game, it's going to be difficult. It's all up to Secret because he's going to be the true damage dealer. Because as of yet, Safrio kind of outrages him in poke damage. But if they were to equalize, this is where Secret is going to be able to bounce back. So they have to put all their eggs in the basket, channel all their funds for Secret. But it's going to be difficult because he's 0-4-1. And you can even see Dadidu is looking to find the target as well. But instead, here comes the stolen Divine Judgment. It's going to keep him alive, but he flickers away. He buys time, but the backlines are completely dived on. Gugu just taking it off Secret, making sure that there's no hope for this carry to bounce back. But was it worth it? Yes, it is, because they completely isolated everyone from Aero 404. They lose 3. Now the tier 3 remains with the Lord pushing in, the Minotaur sitting on the top side. Can't really clear the minions as well.
It doesn't even have a full range bar. This is the fastest game that we've seen so far. The Matilda, Yamikaze trying to buy time, precious seconds for the team, but Tiger Wong Esports, they won an early, 9 the mid-on range. Doesn't even get to be fully channeled. Secret just came back, stopped killing him. 10 minutes and game 1 is done. Tiger Wong Esports with a statement in this elimination series.
Well, the journey continues in the lower brackets, but Tiger Wong showed us a dominating performance in the bottom sides here, but at the same time, it's not over yet. You know, we've seen games like this before, right? You lose 1 game, bounce back 2 games in a row. Is it possible for Aero 404? Very, very possible, but let's take a look at the highlights for game 1, how it happened, right? You can see the aggression coming in from Aero 404. They have the right idea. They almost took down the Kaja itself, but the problem with this hero is, in general, is that the only reason why Dadidu was able to survive that is because of the fact that Kaja has an inbuilt spell vamp that can sustain his way through. And at one point before this nerf, he was on par to the old Esmeralda in terms of sustainability just as a roaming Kaja, which is kind of disgusting to play with. But alongside that, Aero 404 just fell a little bit short in terms of damage. They just needed that 1 auto attack to survive that, but they couldn't. They didn't get a kill. They overextended. They punished for it, not once but multiple times, and it kind of just allowed Tiger Wong just snowball the entire game. And even this fight as well, you can see that the biggest threat right here is not just the Link, right? It was pretty much Rinse on the backlines with Feather X, right? Big amount of damage, and there's a huge wall obstacle, which obviously Aero 404 has no tools or kits to actually dive to Farsa at all.
This feels like a very, very bad nightmare if you're an Aero 404 fan. And even this one, stole the Divine Judgment, Dadidu gets out, pulls, I believe the Cloven back in. While all of that was happening, Gugun just dove tier 3 and killed off Secret. There was not an instant in this game where we felt like Aero 404 had any semblance of hope. This Jungle Minotaur definitely didn't work out. I still think the Archive would have been a better choice, but in game 1, absolute beatdown. That was a Tiger Wong Esports highlight.
Well, that's Tiger Wong literally trying to be the lion, the king of the jungle for now. But in this case, you know, you don't mess with the tiger, you don't mess with the lion, because when you poke them, they are gonna claw your guts out. In this case, Aero 404 completely infiltrated with viruses and infection.
For the first time, I am actually speechless. I don't know how to...
I don't know,
Is there anything to break down? I don't think so, right?
Well, for starters, not Minotaur jungle.
Not Paquito XP.
I think the Paquito was okay-ish, but I just felt like Lord Ricky had a very, very difficult time to actually push through, right? I can understand where the angles that Aero 404 is trying to play with this draft, right? Oh, you have a Glue, you have a Kaja. These are 2 very, very high sustainable heroes into his team fight. So you want to kind of mirror it to compensate it, right? Like, it's kind of like how some heroes, they go for Esmeralda to bear it off with maybe a Uranus or maybe Uranus, Tamus, etc. Yada yada. I get it. But when it comes to this scenario, it's a little bit tough to say.
Yeah, they got outpaced, right? They were just too slow to keep up. The Ling final pick was awesome. All of this, though, we wouldn't have been witnessing all these public spanking if not for our partners who made this happen. So we gotta thank Snapdragon Elite Gaming for being the spearhead for this. When winning matters, Tiger Wong Esports just showed us how it's like to be an absolute dominant force in the series that you play in. But aside from Snapdragon Elite Gaming, we also have Samsung Galaxy to thank for being a part of this journey with us. Check out the Galaxy S23 Ultra, the latest product, and share your epic moments with us, because I promise you, it's one of the best things you can ever get.
Exactly, especially when Valentine's is over as well. Now is a good time to, you know, flex it out. Let us know what you guys think about the phone, and on top of it all, most importantly, save money. That's the secret right now. I know I did bring it up today for so far. I know some of you guys are very, very loyal fans here. Remember, start saving now. Every week, every month for $100 for, I don't know, 9 months later, probably.
Yeah.
You'll probably thank me later. You probably need it. So yeah, just
Or-
do that.
Or you can just save money to get some Monster Energy for yourself, so you can unleash the beast in-game, get that mythical glory, get that win streak going, you know, get that ranked protection, whatever you want. Check them out, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And if you want to top up some diamonds, you need some great deals for the upcoming collaboration with Jujutsu Kaisen. Ooh, I'm excited for that. Go to www.kachishop.com. I'm personally getting the Gojo Satoru skin because it's
Hey, you know
my
what?
favorite character, and it's Xavier. Going for that.
You know what? Save money next month. Buy diamonds from Kachi Shop,
Absolutely.
and then get the Jujutsu Kaisen skin. That's pretty good.
Gojo Satoru, Xavier, best skin so far. We're gonna take a short break and let the teams recuperate. When we come back, Game 2 between Aero 404 and Tiger Wong Esports will continue.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
La 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 la. Bin immer happy auf Fotos, doch im Blitzlicht der Strobo frag ich mich schon, wo du jetzt bist und vermiss dich so. 1000 Augen auf mir und ich schein immer zu lächeln und glücklich zu sein. Doch ohne dich fühle ich mich zwischen tausenden Leuten allein. Nur mit dir kann ich sein, wie ich bin. Nur mit dir. Wir tanzen so, als ob keiner zusieht. Ganz egal wo, zusammen sind wir mutig. Und wir beide drehen so auf, als ob es nur uns zwei gibt. Und singen so laut diese Melodie. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Flieg mit mir auf dem Beat. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Als ob uns keiner sieht. Du bist mein Dojo, ohne dich bin ich solo. Zwischen Tokio und Soho denk ich an dich und die Sehnsucht ist so groß. Denn mit dir kann ich Luftschlösser bauen. Wir zwei sind immer ein bisschen zu laut. Ganz ohne Ziel, ganz ohne Plan. Mit dir durchzudrehen hab ich so sehr gebraucht. Nur mit dir kann ich sein, wie ich bin. Nur mit dir. Wir tanzen so, als ob keiner zusieht. Ganz egal wo, zusammen sind wir mutig. Und wir beide drehen so auf, als ob es nur uns zwei gibt. Und singen so laut diese Melodie. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Flieg mit dir auf dem Beat. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Immer wieder repeat. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Flieg mit mir auf dem Beat. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Als ob uns keiner sieht. Mit dir kann ich sein, wie ich bin. Nur mit dir. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Wir tanzen so, als ob keiner zusieht. Ganz egal wo, zusammen sind wir mutig. Und wir beide drehen so auf, als ob es nur uns zwei gibt. Und singen so laut diese Melodie. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Flieg mit dir auf dem Beat. Lelele, lelele, lelele. Immer wieder repeat. Lelele, lelele, als ob uns keiner sieht.
Rhythm and I'm on the beat. When they all look, everything on fleek. Word in the street, got my sound on repeat. Do it all day, every day of the week. Getting turned up, we feeling lively. On the dance floor.
Hey, welcome back to Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Bang Bang. This is the lower bracket round 3 match number 1. In this case, Tiger Wong currently leading the charge in this lower bracket, one game away from taking out Arrow 44 to continuing the Challenge Open Series. But for now, my name is ICBaby12. Join with me is going to be Husky once again as we take you through the final series for today to Enlightenment. But of course, there are just so many things to talk about. What went wrong with this game for game 1 for Arrow 44? Because that just did not make sense, because so far on screen, fastest game finish for Tiger Wong.
10 minutes and 20 seconds, if I remember correctly. I mean, game 1, Arrow 404, I don't know, good draft not found, I don't know how to put it. For entertainment purposes, it's very entertaining, but clearly, practicals-wise, it's just a bit too slow to match up with Tiger Wong's tempo. Can't match up with a Ling, he's everywhere on the map, and you have a Minotaur that you want to play. It's like a different archetype of Ube, but it's just significantly worse, you know, at all stages of the game. Don't worry, not over just yet. Game number 2 is going to come up, and we'll see if that is going to be the case. But of course, all of this made possible by our friends and partners over at Snapdragon Elite Gaming. They gave us a platform to commentate one of the best games that we have in Mobile Legends Bang Bang. They enabled the Season 1 to happen, and they gave these players a stage to shine. So thank you very much.
Yep, thank you indeed. But at the same time as well, I want to talk about how important it is to watch this match and support your favorite teams on screen, because without you guys, we would not be having all this amazing setup for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it and appreciate it as well. And of course, most importantly, we can't spell fun without you. That's the most important one. But nevertheless, let's talk shop a little bit here. I can tell you for a fact that Arrow 44's draft had only one issue.
Right.
And that issue was Tiger Wong final pick the Ling. If it was any other jungle that does not have high mobility to travel across the map, they would have stood a better chance to deal with the composition. Because if you think about it, Gugu's Ling was just all over the place. Everywhere he is, he's going to be able to cut the back lines. And that was the biggest problem that Arrow 404 faced. They needed somebody to dive the back lines. But in this case, they could not do so, because the sole objective of having the composition of the Minotaur and also the Paquito was to make sure that this Farsa doesn't have a good time when they make the attempt. But they can't necessarily do that when there's a Ling so far back in the back. Just making sure that its carry just can completely shut down just shows a completely different story. So I feel like the draft was doable, very tough to execute. We've seen it in multiple regions in the earlier stage of pre-patch before M-Series. But like I said, the Ling just throws it all out the window.
Yeah, I mean, we actually didn't even thought about the Ling until it came out. And we were like,
we did talk about it like 2 days, 3 days ago.
Yeah, 2-3 days ago, right? And when we saw the Ling, we were like, well, now this game is done. Let's take a look at the draft for game number 2. No, both teams switching side. Tiger Wong Esports now on that blue. Arrow 404 have a better chance, right? You get that final pick, that final gotcha pick. That was what Tiger Wong Esports did in game number 1. See how the bans is going to pan out. 1-1 banned out, being taken out. Arrow 404, they first banned Diggy in previous game, but right now I guess it's time to look at bans like Blue and Kaja, you know, more practical ones.
Like, I think the idea of the Diggy setup was pretty much for them to actually ban a setup for the Atlas pickup, right? Like, Tiger Wong Esports kind of denied it, and oftentimes people don't really pick the Atlas, but Tiger Wong Esports was able to identify that situation and actually ban off the Atlas in the second phase of the ban. So that kind of puts them in a very awkward situation, because if they had the Atlas in that scenario, things would be a little bit better, because they can actually chain their combo and maybe even dive the back lines, which obviously a Minotaur could not provide. But in this case, they have to respect the glue, they have to respect the Kaja as well. These were two very, very annoying heroes that can actually isolate your fights. And in this case, you get, I think ever since the first engagement in the first turtle, we saw the glue and the Kaja kind of just limited the Minotaur's option to actually contest the turtle, right? And because of that, it was just free turtle contest from the link, and just snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And it's about time to play something standard as well. So Arrow 4-4, they ban off the glue, they've got to ban the Kaja this time.
Yeah,
it's either that or the Fanny.
They've already banned the Joy, right? So I think Kaja wouldn't hurt too much. And also there's the Fanny. I think that would be a bit of an issue as well. I wonder if Tiger Wong Esports would first pick the Kaja if it doesn't get banned. But
yeah, most likely it will.
Yeah, it's just a possibility at this point. But obviously Tiger Wong Esports, they have the liberty to kind of have that third ban first. Obviously, there's so much options for them to kind of pick from. Farm is getting banned out. This time, Arrow 4-4 is time to pick a poison. It has to be a Fanny, right? I think that takes precedence over any other heroes.
Yeah, I think the Faramis is okay, but just because of how the Shadow Stampede kind of integrates with the Fanny, right? The moment the Fanny comes in, the Shadow Stampede has an animation to kind of buy you a little bit more time, pull you back in an awkward situation. Heroes like Marat, heroes like Fanny in particular, Ling as well, can be actually caught off from a awkward range. It's difficult to execute, but they just don't want to take risks. I get it, but this option opens up a lot of hero pools for Arrow 4-4, right? Do we let the Fanny slide? Do we let the Kaja slide? Or do we let the Valentine slide? But you know what? Even better. Because they are on the second pick whatever, we will take 2 for them taking. In this case, they take off the Edith, but they will allow the Kaja slide. So Tiger Wong, they're okay with this, but Arrow 4-4, they have no choice but to pick the Valentina, something that helps them in the upper edge to actually benefit from Divine Judgment. But the second pick here, do they want to pick that Fanny? Because if they do that now, Tiger Wong can also opt to go for a Kufra, which oftentimes we do see some games Kaja being played at XP Day.
It's kind of a lose-lose situation, right? It's like trying to take the pill, the red pill, blue pill for Arrow 4-4. I mean, if they don't pick the Fanny, Tiger Wong Esports can snatch it. If they pick the Fanny, that's like you said.
But the question here is, we assume that Tiger Wong Esports plays Fanny. That's if it was.
That's if they play Fanny, right? But I think regardless, right, they already have an answer. Now it's more like adding on more ways to stop a potential Fanny pick. They're not too worried. I mean, the Kaja denies so much. So Yizhong, Broly going through Arrow 4-4. I think it's a smart choice as well. You don't want to reveal that Fanny if ever. Like, you can even let it go to the second phase and get banned out. It stops being a priority when the first pick from Tiger Wong Esports is a pick that basically shuts you down in fights.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where, because they are expecting Tiger Wong Esports to lean on the Farsa a little bit more with the Divine Judgment, the moment you set up Divine Judgment, it's pretty much free Feather Airstrike, drop bombs all the way through. So I guess picking the Yuzhong from for Arrow 4-4 kind of integrates that, it kind of intercepts well. You pretty much can't uncontest it, but this also opens up for Tiger Wong to pick a, like I said, a Fanny, potential carry, and also a Valentina, which I think should have been the priority for Arrow 4-4. To just kind of allow them to do anything. Because if you think about it, Valentina now doesn't necessarily have the greatest spell to do, but the Black Dragon on Valentina isn't necessarily bad as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they take the Valentina, they can at least still have a stolen Divine Judgment or something, right? But I feel like Tiger Wong Esports basically have gotten it mapped out. Even with that first opening pick, it really puts Arrow 4-4 in a sticky situation. And it really feels bad if you're on red side and somehow your reactive picks doesn't matter too much, still gets countered just because of that ban phase as well. Arrow 4-4, they still have 3 more picks, that's for sure. But now it's like, who do you want to put in the jungle to get things going? Martis,
I love
the
it.
worst. You know, you can't intercept the Fanny. It's hard to catch you with a Divine Judgment. But he has a lot of work to do.
I think in this case, you know, considering how Arrow 4-4 is playing this draft right now, I like it a little bit more compared to Game 1, right? You have this Martis, arguably is one of the strongest junglers, right? Like, against an assassin-style hero such as Fanny can't necessarily punish her Martis, because once the Ashura comes in, every single time Fanny comes in your face, the Fanny is gonna risk being disrupted, being challenged, and also being executed to a certain degree. So this puts Arrow 4-4 in a much more comfortable position compared to Tiger Wong. However, things can be a little bit different. Divine Judgment setup into Valentina can still one-shot player, so most likely Tiger Wong Esports might lean on towards a magical composition rather than maybe a physical one. But most importantly, they might lean on the carry a little bit more to deal with the Yuzhong later on. Maybe, just maybe.
There's definitely a lot of, I think, some extra pressure on the Martis as well, right? You really need to have a decent early phase, and you kind of have to be that front line. You need to stop this Fanny and also not get dragged back by the Kaja. I think that would really disrupt this battlefront. That is without the Roma in play just yet. Tiger Wong Esports banning up the Hilda just in case Aero 4-4 goes for a roaming Hilda and kind of ruins the Fanny's early game. So the base is basically covered. Aero 4-4 still has that Franco option, you know, to kind of offset
Very
what they
possible.
don't have for the Roma. I think maybe Tiger Wong Esports would consider that Franco ban.
Yeah, I think going for the Franco ban isn't too bad. But them banning the Beatrix is something that I don't really like, but at the same time, it's okay, right? Considering that if you put a Beatrix versus Brody matchup, Beatrix stands a little bit of a better chance. However, Clint is okay as well. It's not exactly that bad. So I feel like because they ban off the Esmeralda, it kind of shows them that they're pretty obvious on how they want to play around. They might think about going for a Lolita pickup, which oftentimes might be the case. Forcing maybe Tiger Wong to pick it up themselves, which I don't think is going to be the case. Kufra being banned means that there is still a potential Arkai pickup from Aero 4-4, which is pretty much forced to play a Roma role just to deal with this Fanny. But there's also, like you said as well, a Franco, pretty good. Tiger Wong, however, I think like the biggest problem for Tiger Wong right now is that do they want to double down on magical damage? And in this case, Aero 4-4, they go for a cushion jungle.
Okay, I mean, there's still
well, technically, if you hit your daggers on Fanny, there's no way Fanny gets out of the combo from cushion, but
there's decent flex potential, I guess, right? Well, actually, there's not much. Well, now that the Mart's dead, this could be a cushion mid.
This is a cushion mid.
It's a cushion mid, yeah. So they're leaving the roam for last.
What am I watching here? What is
I
going
guess
on?
if you are Aero 4-4, you want to see the last two picks before you pick the Roman. Though I think that, you know, those staples, safer picks, the Franco is never really out of the question. But reviewing this Gushin actually gives Tiger Wong Esports so much info. Now they can kind of draft around to counter this Gushin. The Grog and the Moskov comes through. Now we have a big problem.
Yeah, the wall charge coming in is just going to completely one-shot the Gushin, potentially. Most likely that's going to be the case as well. The wall charge into his wall block, in towards a stun coming from Moscow. That's pretty much deadlock all the way through for anyone who gets picked off all by himself. So in this case, they've got a pretty nice pick-off composition from Tiger Wong, which is pretty much the initial idea of playing around the Kaja, right? But for Aero 4-4, they've got a pretty solid wombo combo. But my biggest problem is how do they stop this Fanny? Because the moment they pick this Gushin, pretty much deadlocks to the fact that the moment the Gushin dives in, it's going to be a dead Gushin regardless.
Yeah.
If you don't kill the Fanny in one shot, you're going to be expecting the Kaja one-shotting you. You're going to be expecting the Grok diving at you with a wall charge. And on top of it all...
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Why am I not surprised? They, like, instead of the Kadita, they went for the Gushin Johnson. We've seen this before. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay.
Honestly, instead of, you know, we have Yamikaze.
Let's go.
We have Yamikaze on the Johnson. And just to kind of echo your statement about Gushin, you know, with Yamikaze, we have Kamikaze Gushin now. It's all about you go in, you blow someone up, and then you give your life away. It's for the team, you know, for the nation of Aero 4-4. This is what it has come down to. Back to basics. Johnson Gushin, you'll love to see it. Game 2 between these two squads. Obviously, Tiger Wong Esports have shown that they look to be just so much better than Aero 4-4.
Is this round 2 for our Valentine's date with Johnson in our Cardinal memes?
Possibly.
I think it's round 2.
I mean, if they can drive it home, I would be extra happy because we get game 3. But it comes out of this. I guess whatever makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel more confident. Gushin Johnson is the final hurrah, the trump card of Aero 4-4, the Cambodian special.
Yep, back to basics, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, because this is going to be game 2 as we head straight into the game. As of yet, as you can see, the Moskov already making sure that the Fanny is going to secure his purple buff. In this case, Aero 4-4 not contesting it as well as Tiger Wong on the blue side, whereas Aero 404 on the red side is having a little bit of a weird interaction, considering that Aero 404 actually opted to start off with the orange buff first. And are we going to see a contest? I don't think so. It seems like Tiger Wong, the Fanny, doesn't want to do it at all.
Yeah, I think if you are Tiger Wong Esports, you're like, you know what? If no one is threatening our Fanny, then just let her do her job, right? She's gonna come online slightly quicker than the Martis. She's gonna be able to move faster than the Martis across the map. We just need someone like Dali Dudedo to keep Lord Ricky occupy. I don't think he stole
hard.
that camp. You can't really control the Martyrs, but as long as this Fanny gets an even start, you are happy.
Yeah, Kaja can't exactly bully out the Martyrs, and it's not the end of the world. But one I really like is that they actually opt to have Rexley on this Brock as an XP lane, right? So the moment we see Rexley hit those level 8 marks where he gets like 1 or 2 item progression, this Weapon Master is going to do a lot of damage with this Brock pickup. So that's going to be something that Aero 4 needs to take account into consideration. But as soon as I say it, here comes a Fanny. Yamakaze gets a huge Petrify, but he might actually die to his last auto attack. Unfortunately, that is going to be Rinzu forcing a flicker, and he's going to be able to get out. And guess what? The stolen blades coming in from Gushin, he's going to be able to zip out as well. That's going to be additional utilities for him to be even more harder to catch off.
It's one of my honestly, Gushin Ultimate is one of my favorite ultimate names to say. Incandescence. So nice to pronounce.
It sounds like Evanescence, but at the same time, alright.
Yeah, it's like, there's the second one is a Turtle's Poissons.
Well, in this case, is he gonna kamikaze his voice where he screams like a really loud girl? But as soon as I say it, Black Dragon comes in. He is gonna go for the backlines, try and zone out Tiger Wong Esports. So that's gonna be a secure turtle in the favor of Aero 4. Tiger Wong realized it's just not worth it. We know, and that's pretty much the downside of Fanny, right? The moment the turtle spawns, there is a 10 to 15 second window where you will have the upper hand knowing that Fanny will not be around because of the fact that Fanny does not have the purple buff unless it is delayed. However, speaking of delayed, bottom side, you get a nice pickoff coming from Aero 4 taking out Rixley.
Yeah, they went onto the Johnson pain train out of vision and just drive one round, forget the crash. But the top lane is going to get threatened. Oh, the flicker for Secret just 1 second too late, and he might give up his life as a cause of this. Yes, he does. The response, the reaction, just a bit too slow. It's an easy pick up for Tiger Wong Esports on the top lane.
Yep, and Yamikaze now rotating his way through. He's got his, it's interesting enough, he's got his rapid touchdown, but he's not using it yet. So it's interesting that Aero 4 is playing a little bit textbook with this Johnson. But as soon as I say it, there it goes. It is going to be driving through. He's setting up for a couple of ambushes. Well, Tiger Wong playing a little bit safe. They don't want to take the risk. They want to know where exactly this Johnson is for now before Gugun actually shows himself. Corrosion side purchase up on Saffril means that he is going to play a little bit more safety towards his laning phase. You can even see on the minimap as well, it's so far back behind. Doesn't even want to stay anywhere close to the back lanes, but bottom lane, they go in for the push as well. Nasu getting caught out. Black Dragon will get him out in safety. The wall blocks are here, but guess what? They found Dadi-Doo-Dee-Doo on the top side. That's going to be Aero 4 getting a pick off.
Very, very important that this happens as frequently as possible because the Gushin is going to be behind this Valentina as this game progresses. We went through this yesterday where the longer you stay on that truck, the less experience you get. You are basically losing out if you don't get kills out of this. You need value. Lord Ricky going for the invade, able to go over the wall, but Fanny comes through. Gugun instantly stunned by Yamikaze as this Johnson puts his body in front. They want to at least get this Johnson out of the way. Can't get the Divine Judgment, not in range. But they stole the rapid touchdown.
Immediately sets up, goes for the crash. Lord Ricky gets connected as well. Divine Judge comes in and they get the pick off. However, Aero 4 is quick to respond with the Black Dragon. They're all stuck. They need to get out. Rexley will be bit off by the shards coming in from the Yuzhong, and Aero 404 takes a very, very quick fight as well. A very desperate attempt with the rapid touch from Tiger Wong, but unfortunately didn't work out in their favor.
You know what I want to see? I want to see both rapid touchdown run into each other.
Unfortunately, to say there is a limit for Valentina. You can't drive forever, which is very, very unfortunate.
Which is sad. But I want to see that happen, if possible.
Yeah, true.
And also Aero 4 winning the game.
Okay, fair enough.
Interesting interaction. Definitely something creative from Tiger Wong Esports. Try to at least get Gugun out of that mid lane. They will do so. Kaja doesn't have that Divine Judgment, so Nasu comfortably walks in. But now they're contesting for the second turtle.
Yep, Yamikaze on the road as well, looking for a road kill. Dada-Doo-Doo needs to be a little bit careful. They dodged the first engagement, but he's down towards half health, so it's not worth it. But Zoro down towards half HP as well. They can look to contest it, but Gugun doesn't have the purple buff. It's just not worth risking it for now. So they're playing it safe. They respect the Johnson as Tiger Wong is slowly farming their way through. But eventually, they are waiting for the timings for this Grok to come online. And once this happens, things are not going to look good. However, great wall charges engagement to stop the truck. And that's going to be a clutch coming from Rexy. However, here comes a stolen rapid touchdown. And no, it's not a re-engage. Ritz seems to be knowing how to use it as well. Here's a taste of your own medicine, but no, it expires at the last moment. They cancel it. They go for the Divine Judgment. They take him out, and now they collapse on him with Arrow 404. The Yuzhong is there with the Petrify, but Tiger Wall, they don't have the numbers. But however, as I say that, they do have enough damage, and they are going to be able to trade 2 for 1.
Expired, no problem, right on top of the target for the Divine Judgment anyways. And middle tier 1 taken down by Saffro. For Secret would trade the top one, but I'm not really sure if he wants to stay around though. Tiger Wong Esports, they have numbers. Saffro is waiting in the brush. Yeah, we have Mikaze on the roll. Keeping For Secret safe. A lot of value is lost though. Cloven is still stuck at level 7 because of that.
Yep, Yamikaze, however, is all by himself. So Cloven not taking the road this time. And this time, here comes a stop coming in. And I'm not exactly what's going on. Rince is taking a little bit too much damage. He's going to die for it as well. Trying to catch him off guard. No engagement coming from Tiger Wong, but there's going to be 5 men down here. He's all caught on 5 men. Coming in, Rexley looking for the punisher. He's got the damage, but here comes Cypher as well. Great wall block to disengage and isolate Cloven. They were able to get a trade off with 1. Gugun finally shows himself. He is going to be going for the wraparound, but the damage from For Secret, a little bit too much for him to handle as he will back out.
A very dangerous spot for Arrow 404 to be in. They were all, half health. This Fanny could have gotten a lot more. Thankfully, Lorigi was able to secure the top jungle. They will have to give up this tier 1, unfortunately. And Rexy just making sure that happens. Saffron will get an easy demolition job there.
Yeah, look at him. Rexley just making sure that as a Grok player, you need to take advantage of your passive immune as well as your war charge, as well as wall blocks to stop Johnson. And this is something that is great in dealing with it as well. But Yamikaze, okay, not worth it. He's all by himself. And now Gugun will be backing out a little bit. To actually set up for a turtle fight. In this case, Arrow 4-4 once again will be dominating the map control for that as they try to figure out what they need to do. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do get a crash on Gugun down bottom. That's going to be a one-shot Fanny. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. Easy turtle for Arrow 4-4. And now Tiger Wong has no choice. Go for collapse, but the wall charge connects on 3. Arrow 404, they're done. They lose all. They lose 3. No hope for the turtle. And they might go for more. Tiger Wong Esports finally finds the way to stop the police. And that is going to be 4 down for Error 404.
Yeah, that is a good deal if I've ever seen one. They lose Fanny, but for Arrow 404, you did all that at what cost? The cushion very far behind. They still lose the turtle, and they lost 4 members in the process. Cloven needs to catch up. Yamikaze can't pull the same trick off ever again. Check out this replay. They get the Fanny off. They thought they have control of the turtle, but no, this wall charge just... This is a strikeout on that lane, on that river. Complete destruction.
4 men down, literally. Error 404 not found in that situation here. A little bit unfortunate in that circumstances, but this is what I'm talking about, right? The beauty of the Weapon Master Grok. Once he hits those level 8 timings with 2 item progression, the wall charge just does so much damage. And Arrow 4 just could not sustain that at all, which is kind of unfortunate because if you have a healing composition, it's fine, but as of yet, Lord Ricky is going to get pulled back. Even with Ashura, it's going to keep him a little bit alive, so he's going to be okay for now. But Tiger Wong, they expended a big battle spell as well. And as of yet, they want to continue to fight, but seems like here comes the roadkill. Does he connect Cypher? He dodges at the last moment. He's going to be okay, but the Black Dragon is going to be able to interject. He goes in for Petrify. They take down the Moskov, and so will the sides as Gugun will pick off the straggler, and that's going to be Cloven. So it's 1 for 1. The marksman is down. There's a little bit of hope, but Rince is still there to say hello. Natsu taking a little bit too much damage, and he's going to die as well. Tiger Wong will get a 2 for 1.
This is good trade for Tiger Wong Esports. Rexley, even with that, builds that wall, blocks everyone in. Here comes the Valentina, the re-engage, they missed it, they hit the wall. Now they gotta get out. Rinzi, he's still in the fight for Secret, survives that one. Free kill delivered for Arrow 404. And Gugun can't do too much in that situation. Arrow 404 able to stay alive in that fight.
Well, that's the beauty of the Ashura, right? You get immune, as long as you don't get stunned in place, Tiger Wong is not gonna be able to chain CC their way through. So there are pros and cons, but at the same time, Tiger Wong is having the biggest fun of their life. Meanwhile, let's take a look at items real quick here on how things are progressing so far. You can see Risley getting the Blade of Ecstasies as well as the Blade of Despair. I was expecting the Malefic Roar, but I guess, you know, because it's Weapon Master, it does amplify the overall attack damage rather than having more penetration, right? There are a lot of situations where Malefic Roar is better than the Blade of Despair, but because with the Weapon Master, Blade of Despair gives a little bit more damage compared to the Malefic Roar.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about, penetration if you kill them in one shot. This is a game of one shots, almost. It's either you get hit by rapid touchdown and you expire, or you get hit by the grok. And well, they saw that Johnson going around. I just want to point out that Guggen is level 14. he's toying around. He's having fun.
Yeah, there's only so much a Fanny can do at this stage, considering that the idea of having the Fanny is a snowball early stage game, but Arrow 4-4 mirrors it because of the fact that they have a Johnson that kind of stops the Fanny from doing that. So the only fallback strategy coming from Tyro Wong is to have the Fanny go for split push pressure and then have the Croc do his job. And look at this, wall charge connects until it's huge, but the instant re-engagement with the Black Dragon will petrify 3 men as well, and it's gonna be huge. Arrow 4-4 will try and turn the tides, but they do trade a 1 more as well. But finally, when all the dust settles, this is where the Google comes in. He's gonna try and finish him off. He only gets 1 before he loses his life, but most importantly, Safril still survives, so that's gonna be 3 for 3 from both sides.
All things considered, not too bad for Arrow 404. The wild charge canceled that rapid touchdown, but they got a great 3-man petrify with that Black Dragon, thanks to Natsu showing up. Look at this replay. Yamikaze crashes into Rexy. Cloven forced to get away, but this Black Dragon shows up, touches base, gets the 3-man petrify, allowing Cloven to at least get a double kill before this fight concludes. So Arrow 404 finds a lifeline, but now they need to find a way to control this Lord.
Oh, this is tough. This is very, very tough indeed, because as of yet, Tiger Wong Esports, they need to have this Fanny do one of the two things. One, which is going to be the split push. 2 would be contest slot together. It's going to be very difficult to do so, but what Tiger Wong is doing really well right now is that they understand that they need to bait out a majority of spells for the Fanny before they re-engage this fight. And once that's happened, this is where Arrow 4-4 will collapse with the initial burst of the Fanny. But considering that it's 12 minutes a game, I'm pretty sure there's Dreadnought armors, there's pretty sure there's anti-Kuras across the map. This Fanny is not going to hit as hard as we expect the Fanny to be doing at this stage of the game.
They're also looking for Yamikaze. Uh-oh, Guggen! In wrong place, wrong time. Actually able to get away just in time, and now Cloven's in danger. Use the incandescence to get out, but Guggen is following him. Winter Trunk in use. Cloven suppressed, not able to move, comes out of that and instantly goes down. Yamikaze also caught at that wall built by Rexy, cutting off the escape route. Nasu cannot get out of this. The Dragon can't survive. For Secret retreating, but Trace's life is a 4 for 2 in favor of Tiger Wong. Lord Ricky, the only one around to keep this game alive.
Oh my goodness, Lord Ricky, he did it as much as he can, but there's only so much he can do. 3v1 situation. Lord Ricky is so tanky, but you can see the inhibitors are being destroyed by Safri. He's got the damage. A great stun from Lord Ricky. He might die. He's got the Ashura. He's got the sustain. He's doing his best, but he will eventually lose his life as Tiger Wong will close out 2-0 against Arrow 404.
Not as fast as game 1, but dominant as always. Tiger Wong Esports with great crescendo to this elimination series. They stay alive in the lower bracket. Arrow 404 waving goodbye to the Open Finals. They will get $500 US, but again, Arrow 404 fans from Cambodia, do not be sad. You will still see this team in that challenge group stage, but for now, they will have to take a bow.
Yep, and that's pretty much it for them. But as of now, let's take a look at the highlights in case you missed out game number 2. Because game number 2, Tiger Wong Esports, they really tried their best to hold on, knowing for a fact that Fire 4-4 has so much advantage in early stage game. But I feel bad. For a Fanny player, you genuinely want to try and snowball as hard as you can, but there's only 2 options you can do. You either snowball hard or you rat hard. In this case, he wasn't able to do that because of the fact that there's just so much map present that this Johnson is doing to the table, which kind of forced them to take a back seat to transition in this stage where the moment Risley gets those level 9. This was the big major fight just now, which kind of allowed him to do what he's doing. Look at the amount of damage and crowd control is doing, which kind of limits so much room that Arrow 4-4 needs to do in all these team fights.
Yeah, and if not for Natsu, the game would have ended right then and there, right? So Natsu's keeping the game alive for a bit longer. And honestly, for Secret also, not necessarily a bad game. Sure, he doesn't have good KD, but in that situation, that was the best he could have offered. Obviously, this one, the rapid touchdown, they saw Guggen, but they could not catch him, and Cloven was just out of position, and it was basically the end. You know, Safril got to free hit everyone. Lord Ricky shows up as the fight has already concluded, so there was nothing much that he provides, and Rince getting that trade onto 4 Secret was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and that's pretty much over for them in the highlights as well. But all in all, well done coming from Tiger Wong Esports. Let's call the items as well. You can see Risley actually going for an early blade of the MCs, blade of the Spirit, and then going for the Athena Shield. Once he got his major early item progression. His objective was solely trying to stop the rapid touchdown, which he did beautifully as well. As a front laner, they roll swap with the Dadidudu, which allowed him to flank the backlines as well multiple times. Safrio going for early Corrosion Scythe, Golden Staff, as well as EHS, pretty standard builds coming from Moscom. Very, very quick one as well, because if you think about it, every single time Clovens tries to make a dive on any heroes coming from Tiger Wong, he is going to go Kamikaze, which is very unfortunate to see.
Yeah, and that is his sole duty, right? There's nothing much. Like you pointed out in the drafting phase, this Gusion's duty is I go in. If I get a trade of 1-for-1, great. If I get more than one, perfect. But he always has to be ready to give his life away alongside Yamikaze. All in all, Aero 4-4 put up a better fight in game number 2, but it's safe to say that Tiger Wong Esports are just a cut above. And they will be the team to watch out for in this lower bracket.
Yep, this is going to be a very, very interesting journey for Tiger Wong Esports as they climb the one. But let's take a look at who the MVP for that match is, because this is going to be Safrio all the way from Tiger Wong Esports, the marksman for the team, the Moskov with a 13.5 KDA. They maintain a huge stats going into this entire tournament so far.
Clint in game 1, Moskov in game 2, and he definitely delivered, right? With the help of his team, Safrio was able to really rack up that damage. Honestly, it's a team effort. You know, Safrio getting a bit of that spotlight towards the very end. I mean, Tiger Wong Esports, we stated again and again, they are just better than Aero 404. Maybe that's the reason why this lower bracket run is going to be so interesting. End of the day, Tiger Wong Esports made it quick, made it decisive. Now they get to stay alive in tournament for a bit longer.
Exactly, but well done indeed for them. But nevertheless, considering that everything has happened so far, I hope you guys can enjoy the action so far. And I'm glad to be part of the crew as well. But before that, I have a very, very special thing for you to go here. Remember at the start of the day, I told you something, you know?
Yeah,
I had a very, very note written here. And I've been wearing this white thing since the start of the day.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
This is for you.
This is for me. Thank you very much.
Can you open it up? Do you see anything?
It's a very good, it's a very, no, I see nothing.
You see nothing? That's for you to wipe your tears because you're 6-0, bro.
Yeah, it's okay. I was ready for this.
You're 0-6 on your prediction, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I have accepted the fact that, you know what, instead of trying to win in any predictions, I'm just going to go consistent. I want to go 0-12 for the Open Finals. See if that's going to be the case.
Okay.
I'm halfway there.
Fair enough, but without all things considered, all jokes aside, we'd like to thank our amazing sponsors here for having this amazing setup as well. And be sure to check out the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Share the epic and level up your gameplay with this brand new phone. And let us know what your experience are. If you guys are looking for a brand new phone to play some Mobile Legends Bang Bang, this is the phone to go to as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed it all. And of course, why not share it with yourself and maybe take a picture of you crying. And I hope you enjoyed that handkerchief.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Terrence. But we gotta thank Monster Energy as well to allowing everyone to unleash the beast within them. To make up for my lost streak as a cursed prophet, I will get some Monster Energy. I will, pump my veins full of green energy and go on a win streak tonight in my rank game. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. I don't know. I mean, I've accepted the fate that it's not meant to be sometimes, but this is the updated bracket. We have GameLab and PB and Strike in that upper bracket finals, but of course what has transpired so far is that Tiger Wong Esports got the 2-0 over Aero 404, and earlier on, ALVA 8 got a reverse sweep over Miracle Gaming, which now puts them in the third round of the lower bracket. Evo Esports will take on Tiger Wong Esports in the next series, and Sway Esports will have to fight against ALVA 8.
Yep, and of course, that is going to be a very interesting battle as well because they are fighting for prize monies all the way through. Nevertheless, Aero 404 and Miracle Gaming, it is a sad loss for them today, but they are not over yet because they will be playing at the Open Challenge Series later on. And of course, this is going to be the next match coming up, which is going to be on 21st, happening on a Tuesday. Next Tuesday, in Dreams, we are going to be starting things off with Evo going up against Tiger Wong, and then Sway going up against AES.
Yep, it is another elimination series. We're narrowing the number down to just the proper top 4, right? 6 teams remains. We're going to narrow it down to 4 teams by the end of next week. Sure, Mobile Legends action has concluded for this week, but don't fret. These teams will now have a few days to prepare. Let's see if Tiger Wong Esports can continue this lower bracket series, because I'm pretty sure they're yearning for a rematch against GameLab somewhere down the road. But for ALVA 8 against Sway, it's the first time we will see Sway on board. Let's see if they can give us a surprise.
Yep, I'm looking forward to see all these amazing games, and of course, most importantly, for these guys watching at home, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, enjoyed the match, enjoyed everything. Let us know in the comments as well what do you guys think about the feedback. Give us some feedback. Tag us on our Instagram. Tag him on Instagram for losing or being a crybaby or whatever. Sorry, that's me. I'm Icy Baby. Hey. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to pick one, right? It's okay. I mean, I have plenty of time to wipe my tears, but you know what they say. At the end of the day, we all enjoy some good Mobile Legends. So even though I lost my predictions, I genuinely enjoy all of the games. However, there are so much more to come that is going to happen next Tuesday, same time, starting at 7:10 p.m. GMT +8, 21st of February. For now, we're going to leave you guys for the rest of the week. Have a good weekend, win your games, hit Mythical Glory, do whatever you want. We're gonna sign up for now. My name is Husky. He is ICBaby12. On behalf of everyone, wish you guys a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week for more Mobile Legends Bang Bang action in the Snapdragon Pro Series. Catch you then.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional, working devotion. We put in this time. Look.